Lou Gellos, News Center 5 Sports, tonight. King 5 Sports presents the Seattle Seahawks versus the San Francisco 49ers. Sponsored by the following participating advertisers. First Interstate Bank of Washington, looking ahead to serve you with more new products and services to make your banking easier, today and tomorrow. By Pacific Northwest Bell, who would like to remind you that in business, long distance can take you further than you think. And by Exxon, quality you can count on. Now, live from Candlestick Park in San Francisco, California, King 5 Sports Director, Tony Ventrella.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Candlestick Park in San Francisco. A beautiful day in the Bay Area. Tony Ventrella with Gene Washington, who played many years in this football park. We are going to bring you the San Francisco 49ers and Seattle Seahawks. Gene, the final preseason game for both these teams, but really, this week especially, a preseason game that takes on the look of a regular season game.
Well, it's a very big game for both teams. San Francisco had a dismal season last year after winning the Super Bowl. So they really need to get off to a good start in their first real game. So they want to put it all together tonight. Seattle, new coach, new system, and what they want to do is establish a new identity as a winner. And you have to get that started so when you get that first game in Kansas City next week, they can get a win.
All right, let's go back and see how the Seahawks have done so far the first 3 weeks of the preseason.
The Seahawks didn't have a preseason inter-squad scrimmage, so the Denver game on August 5th at Mile High Stadium was their first test in a game situation. It's a test Kurt Warner won't forget. He fumbled his first carry as a Seahawk, but later he made up for it by scoring from 4 yards out to give his team the lead. In the second half, John Elway made his first appearance in a Denver uniform, tossed a touchdown pass to Rick Upchurch for a 10-7 Denver victory. Week number 2 at the Kingdome, the Hawks ran the football better than ever before. Rushed for 243 yards, beat Green Bay 38-21. Last week, also at the Kingdome, Jim Zorn hooked up with Steve Largent in the first quarter for a 7-0 lead over the Vikings. It was 16-10 Minnesota. Second half when Dave Craig threw a perfect strike to Chris Castor, covering 23 yards, 17-16 Seahawks. A 28-yard field goal by Steve Schonert gave the Vikings the win eventually, 19-17, in a preseason game that looked an awful lot like a regular season game.
This afternoon, the Seahawks face the 49ers in the final preseason test for both teams. Both teams 1-2 in the preseason, and this should be by far the most serious effort yet on the part of both clubs.
This is a team that was a Super Bowl winner 2 years ago. The nucleus of football players that went to the Super Bowl are still there. They've got a lot of pride, and I think they're going to try to play those people quite a bit in this last preseason game. It's a great challenge for us because it gives us a chance to measure how far we've come. I've always felt that the only...
And certainly as we get ready for the kickoff here at Candlestick Park, there are some definite signs, Gene, that Chuck Knox means business this week.
Well, I'm going to be in Kansas City next week when the Seahawks open the season there. And the only way you can get ready to play a full game with the intensity you need to win is to actually do it here in this exhibition game. This is a day game, it's hot, and the guys are going to get tired in the fourth quarter, so they need to get ready for next week because it's really going to be warm in Kansas City.
Okay, back with the kickoff at Candlestick Park in just a minute.
Price, mileage, quality. Price, mileage, quality. Price, mileage, quality. Honda. Honda. What other cars are trying to be. See your Puget Sound Honda dealer today.
The 49ers, what's
We're back at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. It is absolutely beautiful. About 68 to 70 degrees, clear and sunny, as you can see. A long shot of the field with a baseball configuration that, of course, will be covered up with real grass after the San Francisco Giants finish and playing baseball. We've got some football here today. The 49ers with a record of 1-2 in the preseason, and the Seahawks also 1-2. The Seahawks have won the toss. They will be receiving the opening kickoff. A couple of interesting changes here this week, not unexpected, Gene. The fact that Blair Bush, Reggie McKenzie, Kurt Warner, and Colin Bryant will be in the starting lineup for the Seahawks.
Sounds like that might be the starting lineup next week in Kansas City.
It does. It's awful lot like the one that's going to start next week. Back deep for the Seahawks, you're going to see 32 Colin Bryant and 27 Gregory Johnson back at their own 2-yard line. And we are ready to go here in San Francisco. Ray Wersching, the veteran kicker, end over end, and it is going to be Bryant at the 1-yard line. Up to the 20. The Seahawks will start at their own 20-yard line. This park holds 61,800 fans, and it won't be totally filled today, but there'll certainly be around 60,000 fans here today. Starting on offense for the Seahawks, quarterback, of course, will be Jim Zorn in the first half. Dave Craig will come in and play the second half. The setbacks as we get going will be number 32, Colin Bryant. Came over in a trade during the offseason, and, of course, the rookie, number 28, Kurt Warner, who was hurt a couple of games ago. Zorn goes to the air, intended for Largent, and the pass is knocked away by Ron Ferrari, 54. So they go right to the air, Gene.
Well, I think Ron Ferrari, who's the outside linebacker, has seen this play several times in the game films, and you'll see he's waiting right there. He's in very good shape. Almost comes up with an interception, but Steve Largent does a good job of making sure that he doesn't.
So right off the bat, the Seahawks go to the air. They got a 2nd and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Largent will come to the bottom of your screen. Number 80. He's a little bit out of the screen right now as you watch at home. Just started this preseason game. Zorn on the draw to Kurt Warner. He'll get 5 and fights for 6. It'll be a 3rd down and 5. Dwight Hicks, 22, on the tackle for San Francisco.
There's a backfield. Jim Zorn, Kurt Warner, Colin Bryant. Wide receivers, Largent, Harold Jackson, tight end, Charlie Young.
Warner twisted an ankle in the Green Bay game. Did not play at all last week against Minnesota. There you see the offensive line. Essek, McKenzie, Yarno, Pratt, and Steve August. Warner and Dornick in the backfield. Dan Dornick out of WSU, number 33. 89, Charlie Young, used to play in San Francisco. Glad to be back. To the air. It's incomplete over the head of Dornick at about the 37, and that brings up a 4th down. So the Seahawks forced to kick it away. Jim Zorn a little off target. Tried to get that one to Dan Dornick at the 36. Dana McLemore in the defense. Jeff West, number 8, in the punt. There's Jeff. Some Seattle fans down here in San Francisco. A couple of them have stopped up into the booth already. 43, Dana McLemore will be back deep at his 28-yard line for the 49ers. Just started, no score. Seahawks 3 and out early as they have to kick it away. McLemore at the 26, to the 30, to the 31. And that's all he'll get. Eugene Williams, 54, stopping Dana at the 31. So San Francisco, 1st and 10 at their own 31. And we're going to see, I would certainly think, Joe Montana for a half anyway, Gene. He didn't play much last week. There's the starting backfield. Wendell Tyler, Roger Craig, the rookie, they're pretty high on here. Clark Nehemiah, a surprise starter, and Earl Cooper, the offensive line, Paris Ayers, Quillen Cross, and Fonhorst. As the 49ers start from their own 30. Joe Montana, 5th year out of Notre Dame. Montana throwing right off the bat to Dwight Clark at the 42. He's got him. 1st down, San Francisco.
Well, you're going to see an awful lot of this. The tight end in the 49er offense is the key receiver. That's the position that Dwight Clark plays. He works inside, in between those linebackers and the defensive backs. So Montana looks first to his split end, and then he'll look to the halfback. Those are the two key guys in their pass offense.
In the backfield for the 49ers, Roger Craig, the rookie, and Wendell Tyler. This is Craig, 33, over the 50-yard line. Another first down for the 49ers. Craig, excuse me, Gene.
49ers all-pro guard on the right side. Randy Cross doing a super job of blocking down. Roger Craig just has to go where he's told to go, and he picks up a nice gain for the 49ers.
Craig out of Nebraska was a tailback in college, converted to a fullback. And I would say the conversion worked pretty well as he gets the first down by the nose of the football. The second first down. Coach Walsh very high on Roger Craig. And you can see why. Ronaldo Nehemiah, 83 at the bottom of your screen. Wide right, kind of a surprise starter. Dwight Clark, 87 wide left. They've got a man in motion. That's Wendell Tyler. The pass to Clark at the 35 to the 32. Stopped by Paul Moyer, number 39. But the 49ers are moving the football rapidly here in this first quarter.
This is the same play they ran before, just the opposite side of the field. Dwight Clark's responsibility is to get right down in the zone and hook up. If he's covered, Montana's going to come to his halfback. Wendell Tyler went on to the flat. The Seahawks must cover Dwight Clark early in those quick zones. Otherwise, they're just going to keep going down the field just like that.
Clark and Nehemiah, the wideouts again. Wendell Tyler over the 25. A flag is thrown. He is about 3 short of the first down. The football near the Seahawk 25-yard line. The flag thrown back at the 30.
Well, if you can believe the 49ers, it's offsides against Seattle.
That's what it looks like as the 49ers pick up a couple of yards here. Here's the call.
Encroachment, number 74, defense, first down.
Mono got a little anxious. There you can see his head butted the 49ers center, Fred Quinlan. Wendell Tyler, acquired from the Rams in a trade, is going to be a big help to the 49ers this season.
1st and 5 for the 49ers. 27, Montana to throw. He has a completion to Nehemiah at the 15. Ronaldo Nehemiah was stopped by Kerry Justin, 26.
The same play, except this time they go to their wide receiver, Nehemiah. The receiver goes downfield about 10 yards and just hooks up. Seattle tends to play more zone defense than most teams, and the 49ers, I think their position is, if you're going to play zone defense, play back off, we're going to throw it in front of you and make you come up.
There you see Nehemiah at the bottom of your screen. It is a 1st and 10 again for the 49ers at the 15-yard line of the Seahawks. Wendell Tyler caught in the backfield by Shelton Robinson.
Well, Tony, that was a situation where Montana came up to the line of scrimmage and didn't like the play he had called. He audibled. You could see that his tight end shifted down in the audible, and he went to a sweep. But Shelton Robinson did an excellent job from his inside linebacking position coming up to make the tackle.
So it's 2nd and 13 for the 49ers. The football is at the 15, between the 15 and 16-yard lines. 17 and 18-yard lines, correction. 2nd down and 13 for the 49ers. Up the middle, Roger Craig, the rookie. Inside the 20 to the 18. Brings up a 3rd down and 7.
Jeff Bryant doing a good job on that play, taking on a mountain of a man, left offensive tackle Bubba Paris for the 49ers. Paris gets up close to 300 pounds. He's a big man. You can see him, number 77.
Dwight Clark, 87, wide left. You can't see him on your screen right now. Joe Montana, starting at quarterback, will play about a half. Roger Craig, 33 in the backfield. Montana to throw on 3rd down over the middle. It's dropped. The pass dropped by Earl Cooper, 49. Brings up a 4th down. Big break for the Seahawks. 49ers move down the field, and they have been stopped. And will go for the field goal here.
Well, it was not a well-thrown pass. You'll see this ball is a little behind Earl Cooper, who was converted from running back. Got his hands on it. He should have caught it. Cooper they were really high on him as a running back. Had a good season his rookie year. Now they're trying him out at tight end, and he's going to have a tough time making this team at that position.
The veteran Ray Wersching, Matt Cavanaugh, number 6, with the hole. The kick looks good. 49ers lead it by the score of 3-0. We've got 10:05 to go in the first quarter here at Candlestick Park, and the San Francisco 49ers have driven down field and gotten a 30-yard field goal to lead it 3-0. We'll be back in just a minute.
To get to the top in American business, you must be fast, persuasive, and impossible to ignore.
The recommendation that I suggest...
Isn't it interesting these are the same qualities of a long-distance phone call?
Well, this, I highly recommend it. No delays.
Long distance.
I appreciate very much your interest.
It can take you further than you think.
That's in the family.
Munchie time!
This is it.
Has your airline lost its taste for food?
This is it. This is it. Evidently, this is it.
Next trip, try Alaska Airlines Gold Coast service. It'll leave a good taste in your mouth.
Here's the first scoring drive briefly on the screen. We're set for the kickoff. 49ers lead it on the 30-yard field goal by Ray Wersching, that man, number 14. 3-0 early in this game. 10:05 to go in the first quarter. Colin Bryant, 32, and Gregory Johnson, 27, back deep for the Seahawks. Here is the Ray Wersching kickoff. It bounces at the 20, and Bryant bobbles it a couple of times, picks it up. He's to the 20, the 21, breaks loose, 25. Well, the whistle had blown, Gene, but I'll tell you,
he wasn't down. They blew the whistle, but Cully was very much up. But I guess let's take a look. It's not a very good kick. It's important for Seattle to get good field position here, and in addition to that, to be able to maintain the ball on offense. You can see that he gets hit here. The officials blow the whistle, but he's not down by any means.
Oh, no way was his forward motion stopped, but it's over now. 1st and 10 at the 22. The pitch goes to Kurt Warner, the rookie. He finds some room. Oh, and he gets smothered. Blanchard Montgomery, 38 in the bottom of that pile. Actually, Kurt Warner was on the bottom of the pile. Defensive line.
Cody Jones, Pete Klugler in the middle, Jim Stuckey right in. 49ers linebackers, Willie Harper, Ed Judy, Blanchard Montgomery, and Ron Ferrari.
It's 3-0 San Francisco, 9:25 to go first quarter. Seahawks 2nd and 7 at their own 25-yard line. Kurt Warner and Colin Bryant. Dan Dornick now in the game. Warner and Bryant started the pitch in the backfield. Colin Bryant to the 27-yard line. Collins on special teams today, starting at fullback and really trying to get himself into top shape for next week in Kansas City.
Well, the 49ers have put themselves in a hole a little bit. You see number 74 on your screen. That's Fred Dean. He's a pass rusher par excellence, the best in the league. They bring him in on passing situations, so he's well rested. Very difficult man to block. The Seahawks need to maintain the ball a little bit to keep San Francisco's offense off the field. They don't want to get them back out there and score too early.
Dornick and Warner in the game. In the shotgun, Zorn to throw. He's got a completion to Dornick, who makes it all the way down to the 43-yard line, where it'll be a first down for the Seahawks. Dwight Hicks on the stop for the 49ers.
This is a very big play for the Seahawks. Dan Dornick running a good pattern. Jim Zorn, an excellent throw. He beats Ed Judy, the inside linebacker. Turns up, gets the first down. As I was mentioning before, Tony, the Seahawks need to maintain some possession of the football to keep the 49er offense off the field. They get back on there and they come back and score. You know, they can jump out on you really early and make things very difficult for your defense.
Back live, 1st and 10 at the 43 for the Seahawks. They trail 3-0. Zorn to Bryant, hands off to Bryant, and he picks up a yard or two. They're back on the grass area now, off that baseball configuration that they use, of course, for the San Francisco Giants until around October 2nd. 49ers open at home a week from today. They have a Saturday opener against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Seahawks, of course, open the regular season in Kansas City a week from tomorrow in a game you will see on NBC and on Channel 5. 2nd and 10, the ball at the 43. Zorn wants to throw it. He gets one off to Bryant at the 40, puts his head down and bulls his way to the 45. Eric Wright meets him there. He'll be short of the first down by 7.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Well, the 49ers employing their zone defense with 5 men coming up in that short zone area. So when Cullen got that ball and turned upfield, he didn't have an awful lot of room to run. There's the head man, Chuck Knox.
Knox saying earlier this week, in fact on our pregame show, how important this one is. They're calling it 3rd and 8 for the Seahawks. Right over the 45-yard line. In the shotgun, Jim Zorn. Got a little bit of time. He gets it downfield, complete to Steve Largent. First down and much more. Largent to the 26-yard line of the 49ers. Tom Holmoe with the tackle, 28 for San Francisco.
Well, you'll be able to see the 49er defense as it develops. Steve Largent in the middle of the screen. That fake is what made it. The guy was on a man-to-man. He made a beautiful fake to the right, came back inside, and Jim Zorn made an excellent throw. Good catch. And Mr. Largent gets the Seahawks down in scoring range.
1st and 10. They are at the 26-yard line of the 49ers. San Francisco leads 3-0. We're in the first quarter. Zorn to throw again. Largent again, complete and out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Eric Wright, 21 on the stop, forcing Largent out of bounds. As they get close to another first down, real close. See where they put the marker. And you see the back of Bill Walsh, the 49ers coach. Took this team and won the Super Bowl January of 1982. Last year, 3-6 in the strike-shortened season. 49ers trying to come back. Harold Jackson wide right, Largent wide to the left. It's Warner and Cullen Bryant of the backfield. In motion, Charlie Young, 87, pitch right to Cullen Bryant. To the 20. The 15, he has the first down at the 16. Oh, that's going to be close. They may have to measure, but it looked like he got it.
Well, Ed Judy comes up for the 49ers to make the tackle, but he has a tough one to make. Cullen Bryant puts his head, shoulders down there, and I tell you, he delivers a blow to those linebackers and defensive backs.
He's having fun in this preseason, Gene. First down, Seahawks. Football just outside of the 15. Seahawks moving nicely down the field. They trail 3-0. We've got 4:58 to go in the first quarter. Harold Jackson, wide left. For the Seahawks in the backfield, you've got Cullen Bryant and Kurt Warner. It's Warner to the 10. Kurt Warner picks up half of what he needed. Dwight Hicks on the stop. 2nd and 5 at the 10-yard line.
Well, Reggie McKenzie in at left guard, doing a good job of blocking. Little trap block in there, and Kurt Warner goes in there and shows some nifty moves. Picks up a nice gain, and any other back probably would have ended up with about 2 yards shy of what he ended up with.
All right, Largent wide right and Jackson wide left for the Seahawks. The pitch goes to Warner. Gets away from one man. Gets away from another, but then he is forced out of bounds at the 10, so there'll be no gain. 3rd and 5 for the Seahawks.
Watch Kurt Warner on this play. When the players come up, and the defense comes up to tackle, and they really don't get a good shot at him. Look what he does. He bounces away. Watch when the guy comes up to tackle here. This is a sign of a great runner. He doesn't give him a good shot. Never really gets a good shot on him. That's what O.J. did for so many years, and that's why he played so long and gained so many yards. Never give the defensive guy a direct shot on him.
3rd and 6. Actually, Kurt lost part of a yard on the play. Two wide receivers left for the Seahawks. Byron Walker in the game now is one of them. The pass is a wobbler. incomplete, intended for Dornick. He dove for it at the 8-yard line, couldn't get it, as you can see. So the Seahawks will have to go for the tie here in the field goal attempt, as they fail to punch it in. A good attempt all the way downfield, but they have to settle for that field goal. It's 3-0 already, San Francisco. San Francisco picking apart Seattle secondary, moving down the field for their field goal, which was a 30-yarder. Seahawks running the ball well, but they may have to will have to settle for a field goal and hope to get that much. Norm Johnson back at his own 20, or back at the 22. It'll be a 29-yard attempt. Would actually be a 32-yard attempt, wouldn't it? Looks good from here, and it is. The Seahawks have tied the football game with 3:56 to play in the first quarter at Candlestick Park. We've got 2 field goals, and it's tied at 3-3. We'll be back in a minute.
Have you noticed how many men are drinking Diet Coke?
Diet Coke, yeah, Diet Coke. Look on the taste of Coca-Cola.
It says 1 calorie, but it sure don't taste 1 calorie.
Diet Coke, taste Diet Coke. Just for the taste of it. Just for the taste of it. Diet Coke.
Now there's both Diet Coke and new caffeine-free Diet Coke.
As life changes, you change with it. Always moving ahead, facing new challenges today and especially tomorrow. Like you, First Interstate Bank of Washington is moving ahead too, developing more services, more ways to make your banking and your life more enjoyable today and tomorrow. All over the West at First Interstate Bank of Washington, we're looking ahead.
Back at Candlestick Park, beautiful, sunny San Francisco. Tony Ventrella with Gene Washington. The football game tied up with 3:56 to go first quarter. A baseball final, Toronto beat Detroit 7-4 in the game that we interrupted, frankly, to bring you the football game. Toronto won at 7-4. And we're set for the kickoff here. Carl Monroe, 32, back deep for San Francisco, along with Dana McLemore, 43. Norm Johnson's kickoff end over end to the 6-yard line, where it'll be Monroe to the 25. And that's as far as he's going to get. Bruce Schultz, 58 on the tackle. Tie game at 3. 49ers football.
There's a scoring play, 12 plays, 67 yards. The important thing is that they held onto the ball for 6 minutes and 9 seconds. Give their defense a rest and keep that ball away from this guy.
All right. Joe Montana likely to play the first half. Roger Craig, 33, the rookie in the backfield, along with the veteran Wendell Tyler. But Montana to throw has Dwight Clark. And has him for a darn good gain. I'd say close to 9 yards. He'll be short of the first down by a yard. Clark hauling it in, tiptoeing out of bounds, actually short by 3 as we see where they place the football.
Again, the 49ers being content to throw the football underneath the coverage of the Seahawks. And they'll do this. This is the way they play football. They consider some passes just long handoffs. They're not afraid to throw the ball by any means. And they'll try to draw you up. Then they'll try to throw it over your head to a speedster like Nehemiah.
2nd and 3. They'll go up the middle with Roger Craig. He'll be real close to the first down. Probably has it. Looked like he got across the 35, and that's where he had to go. Jacob Green, Bruce Schultz in the trenches for the Seahawks.
There's a 49er player down. That's Keith Fahnhorst, I think, the number 71, the right tackle.
We've got a 3-3 tie at Candlestick Park with 3.5 minutes left in the first quarter. We'll be back in just a minute.
Pontiac has got your number. 10.9% financing on 3 exciting new Pontiacs. 10.9% on the electronically fuel-injected Pontiac 6000. 10.9% on the lively Pontiac Phoenix. And 10.9% or $300 on Pontiac 1000. You must take retail delivery from dealer stock by September 21st. So act now and get in on Pontiac excitement.
Get 10.9 financing on these selected Pontiacs at your participating Puget Sound Pontiac dealer.
This is the moment when you need the quick response
and smooth acceleration that comes from Exxon unleaded regular gasoline. It has all the octane most cars need to help free your engine from knocking and pinging. And for even more octane, try Exxon Extra Unleaded. When the moment demands performance, get Exxon. Quality you can count on.
We're back at Candlestick Park. Keith Fahnhorst, number 71. You don't see him on your screen now. Shaken up on the last play. Has walked off the field under his own power. He's okay. Replaced by Alan Kennedy out of Washington State. 3rd and 1. Roger Craig. He got it that time. Craig over the 35 to the 36. 1st and 10. San Francisco. Roger Craig out of Nebraska. A tailback converted to a fullback. Seemed to me you'd have to put on a couple of pounds to do that, wouldn't you, Gene?
Well, a few wouldn't hurt, but they've been very, very pleased with his performance so far in training camp. And
Craig and Wendell Tyler in the backfield for the 49ers. It's 1st and 10 of their own 35. The game tied 3-3. Montana throws Diamante. It is almost picked off by Kerry Justin. 26. Paul Moyer, 39, also on the defense, but Kerry got his hands on the football.
Well, as a receiver, you don't like to see a pass like this thrown because Ronaldo could really have gotten hurt here. Had he caught that football, Paul Moyer was in position to really just knock his head off. Montana really shouldn't have thrown it. It's a very dangerous pass for the receiver.
And so it is 2nd and 10. The ball between 36 and 37 yard lines of the 49ers. Wendell Tyler, you see 26 in the backfield with 33. Roger Craig. Mike Wilson, 85, wide right. They go up the middle. A flag is thrown. Roger Craig got up to the 40, but there's a penalty marker down.
I think one of the Seahawks jumped off sides. I think Montana is using voice inflection. He'll come up and he'll call his signal, and then he'll raise his voice level. And I think some of the defensive linemen are listening to his voice instead of watching the football.
They teach voice inflection at Notre Dame, Gene. That's where he went to school.
Is that in the 2nd year?
Offside. Number 74. Defense. 2nd down.
2nd and 5 for the 49ers. Football at their own 41. We're tied at 3, 1st quarter. 2.5 minutes to play. There you see Mr. Fahnhorst. He's okay. Was injured before. Taking a little breather.
Comes a blitz.
However, they get around it and through it as Wendell Tyler, 26, gets to the 46. Close to another 49er first down. It'll be a yard short.
I like to see that. The Seahawks that time had Kenny Easley coming on a blitz from the top of your screen. You can see him coming in. Unfortunately, gave the ball to Wendell Tyler coming the other way, but you need to do something like that to try to break up the rhythm of the 49er offense. If you don't break up their rhythm, they can destroy you.
See, Keith Butler, even though he had a good block on him, made the stop. 3rd and 1 for the 49ers. They're at their own 46-yard line. 1:51 to go, 1st quarter. The game tied 3-3. This is Tyler. 1st down and more to the 48-yard line of the Seahawks.
Roger Craig, the rookie for the 49ers, doing an excellent job of blocking. They're coming over their all-pro right guard, Randy Cross. There's number 33 leading the way, and the guy carrying the ball, Wendell Tyler, is an excellent runner. He's got very good quickness, but he's got great leg strength, so he can run inside.
And so the 49ers move into Seahawk territory. 1st and 10 at the Seattle 48-yard line. Craig, the lone setback. Montana to throw. Way overthrown, intended perhaps, probably for Dwight Clark, the only man down there at the 30. That ball was thrown 10 yards over. Maybe saw that Dwight was too well covered.
Well, I think what happened is that Dave Brown played really smart. Dwight Clark is an excellent possession receiver, but he doesn't have great speed. I think what Dave Brown is doing is he's playing him a little tighter. Clark went down. He tried to push him back so he could hook, but he couldn't get Dave pushed back far enough, and Montana just had to get rid of the football. That's a great play on the part of Dave Brown.
We've got a 2nd and 10 from the Seahawk 48. Montana, Wendell Tyler. Tyler is stopped. Tyler stacked up. Let's see who got him on the bottom of that pile. Keith Butler, 53.
He makes a good tackle, and you'll see him stand Wendell Tyler up. There he is. Ooh, good job.
All right, so for San Francisco, it's a 3rd and 10. There's Keith.
Being congratulated on the sidelines there. Seahawks now have their 5 defensive backs in.
Dwight Clark goes left. You see him at the top of your screen, number 87. And Nehemiah, 83, just off of your screen, is wide right. Montana scrambling to the left. He'll throw it anyway. It is overthrown, intended for number 49, Earl Cooper.
Seahawks did a super job of playing defense. Montana wants to get the ball out here to Dwight Clark, but they do an excellent job of covering it. Now he tries to throw the ball downfield long to Earl Cooper, the converted halfback. Cooper just doesn't have the speed to run under this one. If it had been Nehemiah, he might have gotten to it. But give credit to the defensive backs, Dave Brown, for covering Dwight Clark tight, and that's what you have to do with him. You can't give him a lot of room.
So it brings up the punt. The Seahawks have stopped the 49ers. Jim Miller back at his 37-yard line. Tries to keep that one in the field, but it's going to go into the end zone, beyond the end zone. Gregory Johnson won't get a chance to carry it back, and it's 12 seconds left to play in the first quarter. We're tied at 3-3. Seahawks will take over at their own 20 when we come back to Candlestick Park.
Working around here, a guy gets very wet on the outside and very dry on the inside.
Welcome to Miller Time. It's all yours and it's all mine. Bring your thirsty self right here. The rich, smooth taste of Miller beer is what you have in mind. So welcome to Miller Time.
Welcome to the rich, smooth taste of Miller High Life.
Olympic Stain. We've got the inside on outside protection. Inside every can of Olympic Stain with weather screen are specially treated oils and additives that actually repel water and preserve wood. Inside every can is the experience of over half a century. That's why Olympic protects the outside of more homes than any other stain. Olympic Stain. We've got the inside on outside protection.
Seahawks coach Chuck Knox pacing a little bit. There you see Bill Walsh, the 49ers coach. Seahawks and 49ers tied 3-3, 12 seconds to go, first quarter. Seattle working 1st and 10 from its own 20-yard line. Kurt Warner started the game, played most of it in the backfield, number 28, and Cullen Bryant, 32. Warner gets outside, gets the first down. I believe he crossed the 30 and got it. Looked like it, Gene.
That's why they made Kurt Warner their #1 draft choice. The run he made from that I formation, went inside, nothing there, has the ability and the lateral movement to bounce outside and the quickness to run away from people. So he turned a play which might have gained 1 yard into a play that ended up gaining about 8.
Ronnie Lott squeezing Warner out of bounds. It is first and, well, they're calling it 2nd down. And a couple, well, that's what it is. A little bit short of the first down. 2nd and a yard and a half, to be exact, for the Seahawks near their own 28. Kurt Warner's going to get the first down to the 33. That's the end of the first quarter, which is tied at 3-3 as Warner and the Seahawks will work with a first down from their own 35. When we come back, it's tied 3-3.
over the country. Mitsubishi Motors dealers are setting a record for first-year import car company sales with record-breaking deals on Starion. Sticker priced thousands less than the leading turbo sports car. Better than ever deals on Cordia hatchbacks. And Tredia, sticker priced at $1,800 less than the leading import four-door sedan. And Mighty Max at a mighty low $57.49 at a great success sale. See your Mitsubishi Motors dealer today and make a record-breaking deal.
Why American business trusts Emory.
The Emory Urgent Letter. Now you can send 5 ounces up to 20 pages in a full-sized envelope. And the price, desk to desk to most of America, is just $11. The more important papers you send, the more you need the Emory Urgent Letter. Meeting America's most urgent overnight needs.
Try it. Emory. We've earned the trust of American business.
Aaron Brown, News Center 5 at 5 and 11.
Welcome back to Candlestick Park in San Francisco. There you see 2 of the 3 49er quarterbacks. Starter number 16, Joe Montana. But the Seahawks are on offense now at their own 33-yard line, where they've got a 1st and 10. The ball game tied at 3. 87, Charlie Young in motion. Pitch to Kurt Warner. Warner, still on his feet, gets another 1st down. Look at that, Gene. We were just saying when we were off camera how he adds so much and actually changes this whole offense.
Well, Kurt Warner does something here that only a great running back can do. He should have been stopped here for about a 1-yard gain. But look at this move. Bounces to the outside. He makes it look easy, but he does something that is very difficult to do, to be able to cut on a dime, as they say. But he has a great lateral movement and great balance, and he can do that. 36 yards for Kurt Warner and 7 carries. A guy like that can change the identity of a football team. I tell you, he really wants to play today.
All right, Theodis Brown in the game now, along with Dan Dornick in the backfield. Seahawks 1st and 10 from their own 43. Theodis, his first carry of the football game, gets up to the 48-yard line. So he picked up nearly half of what they need for another 1st down.
This is Chuck Knox football. Run the football, gain 3 yards, at least 3 yards. Try to gain 3 to 4 yards on each play. You run down the clock. You discourage the other team's defense. Just keep hammering away. Pretty soon, they'll try to do a little something to compensate. Then that's when you can throw the ball over their heads.
Harold Jackson, top of your screen, 29 wide left. Steve Largent, number 80, wide right. 2nd and 5, Seahawks at the 48, their own 48. Zorn to throw. Little low for Jackson at the 1st down marker at the 46. The ball bounced once. Harold couldn't get to it.
That's the one you can't afford to miss. That's a little quick out pattern. Harold was wide open. I think Jim was trying to guide that ball. I play quarterback not very well, by the way, but I know when you try to guide it instead of throwing it, you're not going to get it there. And he was so wide open, I think Jim was just trying to get it out there to him so he could pick up the 1st down. Result is that he bounced it off the ground.
Brings up a 3rd and 5 for the Seahawks at their own 48. Now you've got Byron Walker, 89, at the bottom of your screen. In the shotgun, Jim Zorn on the 3rd and 5 from the 48. Zorn to throw, over the middle, incomplete, threw it in between. As a matter of fact, a couple of guys on the wrong team. Dwight Hicks, 22, was down there.
Well, Jim was throwing to an area of the field. He thought that Steve Largent was going to hook into the middle, and you can see that Largent went the other way. That's, as they say, just a failure to communicate.
And so McLemore down to receive. Jeff West's punt. West back at his 34. Seahawks failed to move the football beyond their own 48. They got to kick it away. 14 minutes to go in the 1st half. We're tied at 3. Here's West's kick. McLemore at the 11. He was hit about 6 times and got up to his own 23-yard line. So not bad field position for the 49ers. They'll start at their own 23 when we come back to Candlestick Park.
Road and Track said, the Mercedes-Benz of small cars. If Detroit is interested in quality, this is the car they should study. Popular Mechanics, if I were in the market for a small car, this would be my only choice. Motor Trend, they proved excellence can be improved. Money Magazine, the small car that held up best on trade-in. What car are all these experts talking about? Honda. That's right, Honda. Just drive one, you'll understand. See your Puget Sound Honda dealer today.
These days, a lot of airlines are crowding more seats into their planes, leaving less room for people. But on Alaska Airlines, we don't cramp your style. That way you can sit back, relax, and fly with a happy face.
49ers will start at their own 24-yard line with 13:50 to go in the first half. Joe Montana playing in this first half. That's probably all he'll play. Wendell Tyler. Tyler muscled to the ground by Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson doing a really good job at his outside linebacking position. It's tough to run a sweep against a 3-4 because the linebackers really have a good advantage. You have 4 linebackers instead of 3 in the traditional defense. So they have very nice angles, so it's tough to run wide against them. Michael Jackson on the outside, very good quickness, making a good tackle on Wendell Tyler.
88 just off your screen to the left. Well, now you can't see him at all. Freddie Solomon wide left, now in motion. You see number 88, Freddie Solomon. 2nd and 9 for San Francisco. Montana to throw. Tyler, almost a beautiful catch. Michael Jackson out there on defense. The ball dropped at the 47-yard line of the Seahawks.
Seattle is playing San Francisco defensively as well as anyone has played them in the last 12 minutes. They're taking away Dwight Clark. That's the #1 target for Joe Montana. You can see that he's well covered. He goes to Wendell Tyler. Wendell had beat Michael Jackson deep. Should have caught the ball, but he didn't. But the key to me is that they're taking away Dwight Clark. They're taking away Montana's #1 target. And they're being very effective with it so
Big
far.
play, 3rd and 9. He gets it to Roger Craig, who gets the first down. Or did he not get there? He was out of bounds there, wasn't he?
I don't think he made it. I think he ended up about 2 yards shy.
All right, so the Seahawks hold. Jim Miller, number 3, will kick it away for San Francisco. As the 49ers come up a couple of yards short of the first down and a big defensive play for the Seahawks. Tied 3-3 with 13 minutes left in the first half. Gregory Johnson, number 27, back deep for the Seahawks at his own 20-yard line. Low snap. But the kick gets away to Johnson, bobbles it once, then picks it up. 25, 30, 33-yard line. Bill Ring, number 30, on the stop for San Francisco. So the Seahawks take over the football. 1st and 10 of their own 33. We are tied 3-3.
We're flying high above Belknap, Oregon, to test again whether your ad in the Pacific Northwest Bell Yellow Pages never stops selling. As you know, the Yellow Pages claims to have a bigger impact than any other advertising medium. On the job 365 days a year in 96% of all homes and businesses. Well, let's see how well they sell after this.
Size sky jumps, here's the limit.
There you have it, the Yellow Pages.
Yellow.
They never stop selling.
Anybody there?
When you buy gasoline, there's a real chance you're buying in the dark. Because you just might be paying a lot more for gasoline than you have to. 20, 30, even 35 cents a gallon more than you have to. But there is an alternative. Arco. The gasoline that could save you up to 35 cents a gallon. So the next time you need gasoline, get out of the dark and compare Arco prices. You could see things in a whole new light.
Back at Candlestick Park, Tony Ventrella with Gene Washington, whose name was flashed on the scoreboard just a minute ago for being the all-time leading 49ers receiver with 6,664 career yards. And not that long ago. 1st and 10.
Seems like it was ages.
Seahawks at their own 33. Zorn complete to Harold Jackson.
Just shy, about a foot shy of the first down. This was the same pass that they tried to get before that Jim bounced. This time he gets it out there. Harold Jackson's been around a long time, but he still has plenty of speed. So those defensive backs know it. So they're gonna give him a little room.
Jim Zorn 5 out of 10 passing today for 63 yards. There you see Harold Jackson coming to the other side now. Seahawks with a 2nd and 1 from their own 43-yard line. Game tied 3-3. Theodis Brown will get the first down. He gets pushed back, but he got plenty for the first down. Seahawks have it at the 45. Stuckey with a stop for the 49ers. Football now placed right on the 45.
Seahawks have 2 things going for them right now. They're in great field position. They're moving the ball, running down the clock, letting their defense rest. Even if they don't score in this situation, they're going to back the 49ers up, get them backed up. Field position, very, very important.
Zorn to throw. Looks over the middle. Complete. Beautiful catch by Charlie Young. 87 at the 48-yard line of San Francisco. Got to make Charlie Young feel good. His first reception and a diving, beautiful catch it was, Gene.
Well, I was about to say that, and the fans here applaud because Charlie Young was so important to the 49ers in their drive to a Super Bowl championship. Puts those big hands out there and comes up with a really terrific catch.
Of course, the interesting twist there, they let Charlie Young go because they had Russ Francis, who then hurt his hand. And I saw him catching passes one-handed during the pregame. 2nd and 2 at the 47 with Dornick and Theodis Brown in the Seattle backfield. That's Theodis. First down inside the 45 to the 43. Seahawks moving it on the ground and occasionally in the air, Gene, as they just pick things up nicely here after that first San Francisco drive.
That's a nice combination of running backs. You get a guy, Kurt Warner, in there who's really shifty and very quick. Then you complement him by bringing Theodis in, who doesn't have that lateral movement, but when he goes straight ahead, he really delivers a blow. So those 2 guys really complement one another.
Largent, 80, just off your screen, wide right. Jackson wide left. Dornick, 33, inside the 45-yard line. Bangs his way to the 42, where it'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, Byron Walker is coming into the game. It's a 3rd wide receiver. Charlie Young going out. I'd like to see Byron get his hands on a pass. A really impressive young receiver.
Walker and Largent, the wide left with Harold Jackson, 29, right at the bottom of your screen, wide right. In the shotgun, Jim Zorn, 2nd and 8 Seahawks at the 42. Zorn with time. Now he's got to scramble. He'll run for it. Gets away from one man. He stopped at the 39-yard line. He'll be short of the first down by 5 yards. Montgomery, a rookie. Well, no rookie at all. 38, Blanchard Montgomery on the tackle.
Well, the 49ers do a good job of pass coverage in their zone defense. Jim doesn't see anything, wisely pulls the ball down. Does a nice job of scrambling, sees that he can't get any more and tries to get underneath this tackle here. But watch his arm, right on the head. Ooh.
3rd and 5. Zorn picked up.
There's a shot of the secondary. You can see the defense, the 49ers defense. 4 men right along that area there. That's why Jim Zorn decided to run with it. Didn't want to take a chance of an interception.
3rd and 5 at the San Francisco 39. Zorn in the shotgun.
Blitz.
Oh, fumble. Ron Ferrari blindsiding Zorn. Seahawks.
Well, Jim doesn't see him at all. It's number 54, Ron Ferrari, coming from his linebacking position. That's a fumble. Fortunately for the Seahawks, one of the linemen recovered the ball. You can see the ball bouncing loose.
Ron Essink recovered, 64, but it's 4th down for the Seahawks. And of course they're going to kick it away. 43, Dana McLemore back at his 11-yard line.
Need good coverage on this punt.
Jeff West, high kick will go into the end zone. And the 49ers will start at their own 20. So they have stopped the Seattle drive. We have 8:19 left in the first half at Candlestick Park. And the score, Seahawks 3, the 49ers 3.
You like it?
It tastes great, and I don't even drink diet drinks.
Diet Coke, yeah, Diet Coke. Look all the taste from Coca-Cola.
This is one diet drink that isn't just out for my body.
Diet Coke, taste Diet Coke. Just for the taste of it. Just for the taste of it. Diet Coke.
There are some experiences in life that words just can't describe. Haagen-Dazs, the ice cream dedicated to perfection.
We're back at Candlestick Park, where it is tied 3-3 with 8:19 to go in the first half. 49ers first and 10 of their own 20. Joe Montana, 5 out of 10 for 51 yards passing today. Goes to the rookie Roger Craig, who spins away from one man and gets to the 26-yard line, where he will be 4 yards short of the first down.
Well, the 49ers choosing to run directly at the Seahawks defense. But when you're playing against a 3-4 defense where you have a nose tackle right over the center, the best place to run the ball is directly at them. It's tough to run those sweeps wide.
Calling it 2nd and 5 from the 25-yard line. Mike Wilson, 85, wide left in motion. Freddie Solomon, 88, runs across your screen. They go to Wendell Tyler, and Tyler is spun to the ground by Keith Butler, 53. This broadcast is for the private use of our audience. Any reuse of this program without the express written permission of the Seattle Seahawks is strictly prohibited. And on that play, Wendell Tyler was strictly prohibited by Keith Butler, number 53. So we've got a 3rd and 3 at the 27-yard line.
Not a good position for the defense. 3rd and 3, you can go both ways, pass or run. Really puts the defense at a disadvantage.
Montana to throw. Incomplete as he throws it behind Mike Wilson, 85.
Incomplete to Wilson, 4th down.
Dave Brown, of course, on the defense, number 22. So a 4th down comes up. The Seahawks will get the football back again with Gregory Johnson, 27. Back deep to receive the punt.
Tony, I have to say it again. No one has played the 49er pass offense as well as the Seahawks have here in the last quarter and a half. They've done an excellent job of playing pass defense.
Jeff Miller, you see the punter back at his own 12. Good snap. Miller gets it away. Kind of a low end over end kick. Fielded by Kenny Easley, 45. And he gets up to the 44-yard line. As the Seahawks have their best field position after a punt they've had all day. We've got a 3-3 score. Seattle back on offense in just a minute.
Part of being human is being able to look ahead, to discover new ideas for a better life today, and especially tomorrow. Like you, First Interstate Bank of Washington is moving ahead too, developing more services, more ways to make your banking and your life more enjoyable, today and tomorrow, all over the West. At First Interstate Bank of Washington, we're looking ahead.
No place nice to put an ice cream cone? Slaymaker one-hand security lock. In the middle of a dribble? Slaymaker one-hand security lock. An arm full of charm? Slaymaker one-hand security lock. The exclusive combination padlock with a full-face dial. Easiest to read and turn. And strong. Resists cutting force of 3,500 pounds. Slaymaker, the only one-hand combination security lock.
We're back at Candlestick Park. You see the back of the head of Bill Walsh, the 49er coach. Seahawks have the ball 1st and 10 of their own 45. Jim Zorn has played the whole first half. Passing, he's 6 for 11 for 71 yards. Dornick and Theodis Brown in the backfield. Kurt Warner played the first quarter. He's likely to play the third. Zorn to throw. Looks left. Oh, is that a perfect catch by Byron Walker if he caught it at the 49?
That's my man, Bones Walker. Not a very good pass. But Byron does an excellent job of coming back and diving for this football. Comes up with a good catch. That's a beautiful catch.
So the Seahawks just short of the 50 will be 5 yards short of the first down.
Look at that. That's beautiful.
It's the kind of thing you'll see in a weekly sports magazine next week, without mentioning any names. 2nd and 5. They're near the 50-yard line. 3-3 tie. Second quarter. Theotis is stopped. Tackled by Montgomery. Theotis didn't get anything at all that time.
49ers bring in their designated pass rushers, led by Fred Dean, number 74.
3rd and 5 for the Seahawks at the 50. 5:46 to go in the first half. Chris Castor, number 83, reports into the lineup. He and Byron Walker, 89, will be wide right for the Seahawks. Zorn in the shotgun on 3rd and 5 at the 50. Walker in motion, 89. Zorn to throw.
Bones.
Complete for the first down to Byron Walker. Walker just short of the 40, Gene.
Did you hear me telling him where to throw the ball? Because Byron, I saw him come open in the middle. Ronnie Lott tried to give him a shove, tried to hold him up, but Byron juked him and got away, and he was just wide open in the middle.
Ed Judy there for the stop.
You're going to watch it again. Byron gets right in the middle, gets open, comes up with a nice catch.
1st and 10 Seahawks at the 40-yard line of the 49ers. Walker wide right again. The fake give. The pass left side is
caught.
Hustled in. A beautiful catch.
Harrell.
By Harold Jackson at the 20-yard line. They're making some circus catches today, Gene. Dwight Hicks with a tackle.
Harold Jackson runs the defensive back about 25 yards downfield and then comes back. Well, they couldn't call it anyway because his body covered it, but I think he caught it. Whether it bounced or not, no one can see it, so you got to give it to him. Harold Jackson coming up with a nice catch and a good throw by Jim Zorn. He's thrown the ball 14 times with 9 completions for 106 yards.
Now you've got Jackson left and Byron Walker right with Dornick the lone setback. Seahawks 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line of San Francisco. Zorn to throw again. Lofts it.
Interference.
The fans don't like it, but Eric Wright will be called for interference.
I saw that one right away. Nice pass by Zorn. He lofts the ball up to give Harrell a chance to run under it. Harrell's trying to run under the ball, and you can see the defensive back, Eric Wright, is all over it. Well, the fans are booing their disapproval, but I'll tell you what, they're dead wrong. That was obviously pass interference. So we'll take another look. You can see that the defensive back is all over Harrell here. There he is. Doesn't give Harrell a chance at all for the football.
Interference occurring in the end zone. The ball's at the 1-yard line. Seattle knocking at the door with Dornick and Theotis Brown in the backfield. It's Theotis.
Hold on to the football.
Ed Judy meets him halfway. And it will be 2nd and goal. In fact, he bounced them back a half a yard.
When you get a situation like this, you come up with a big play, you get down here. The important thing to remember is not to turn the football over. Don't fumble the football. I mean, that's so important.
All right, here we go again. 2nd and goal. The ball at the 2. Theotis and Dornick in the backfield. Dan Dornick outside. Gets away. Touchdown, Seattle. Well, I'll tell you, he was stopped by Ed Judy at about the 3, and he busted loose anyway.
He was. He does a super job of running because Ron Ferrari comes up from his outside, number 54, and Judy's over there, number 50, and he hits him here, and he just plows on through for the touchdown.
So as we take another look, the Seahawks take the lead 9-3.
You can see 54. There's Ferrari coming up trying to make the tackle. But Dan Dornick says, nope, not until I'm in the end zone for 6.
Norm Johnson with the extra point attempt to give the Seahawks what they hope will be a 10-3 lead. Jim Zorn with a hold. The kick is perfect. We've got timeout here at Candlestick Park with 3 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in the first half. And the Seahawks have taken the lead 10-3 over the 49ers. We'll be back in just a minute.
Pontiac has got your number. 10.9% financing on 3 exciting new Pontiacs. 10.9% on the electronically fuel-injected Pontiac 6000. 10.9% on the lively Pontiac Phoenix. And 10.9% or $300 on Pontiac 1000. You must take retail delivery from dealer stock by September 21st. So act now and get in on Pontiac excitement.
Get 10.9 financing on these selected Pontiacs at your participating Puget Sound Pontiac dealer.
Seahawks scoring drive going 55 yards in 6 plays. The 2-yard run by Dan Dornick, and it's 10-3 Seattle as Norm Johnson gets set to kick off to 43 Dana McLemore.
The Seahawks can't relax here. They have a 7-point lead, but they really need good coverage on this kickoff. Try to continue to keep the 49ers playing on their part of the field. 3 minutes ago, the 49ers, with their type of offense, they can score 2 times in 3 minutes. So the Seahawks can't relax. You know, they want to keep this lead, go into the locker room with the lead here in the first half. They need good coverage.
This will be Carl Monroe, 32 at his own 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 27.
He fumbled. He got nailed.
He got creamed, but the Seahawks didn't quite get possession. But I'll tell you one thing, he'll remember that run back for a while.
Well, he's a little guy, and he flies up in there with reckless abandon, but he gets a real shot here.
See who nails him. Joe Norman misses him, 52.
Oh.
The arm tackle. Tough to see that number.
I think it was Eric Lane. I think that was Eric Lane, number 37.
Eric Lane with a nice arm tackle. Montana to throw. He completes it to Roger Craig, the rookie, at the 40, 42-yard line. First down, San Francisco. Michael Jackson on the stop for the Seahawks. 2:42 left to play in the first half. Seattle leading it 10-3, but the 49ers moving.
Well, the 49ers are going to figure out some way to throw the football successfully. The Seahawks have done a good job of covering their wide receivers downfield. Now they come to their halfbacks.
Back live. Montana to throw again. Looks left with no success. Scrambles right and throws it. Incomplete. Almost picked off out there. Eason Ramson was the intended receiver from Washington State University. Bruce Schultz, 58. Got a fingertip on the ball. And Joe Montana, number 16, is disappointed.
He had no place to throw the football. The Seahawks continuing to do a really good job of covering the wide receivers downfield. Super.
2nd and 10 at their own 42. Seahawks lead this game 10-3. We've got 2:21 to go in the first half. Dwight Clark, 87, goes wide right. And Mike Wilson left. Montana to throw. Got plenty of time. Over the middle. And diving. Well, I guess it's incomplete. Just about to say diving catch by Earl Cooper. With Gregory Johnson and Paul Moyer and Eugene Williams on the defense.
Well, the fans are booing because they think they should have gotten an interference call here, and it's close because Gregory Johnson, well, we didn't see it on the replay. Let's take a look from the end zone. We might be able to see it. Gregory Johnson is very close here to interfering. There it is. Not much harm.
Wideouts now. Wilson 85, Ronaldo Nehemiah 83. Dwight Clark received a smack on the head.
The blitz. There's the blitz. You don't get much reaction because the Seahawks are playing here in San Francisco. But their defense is playing outstanding football. The 49ers haven't run up against a defense like this in a long time.
McAllister and Johnson. Defensive gems turned in. Wendell Tyler, the intended receiver there. And now the Seahawks have forced another 49er kick. Jim Miller, the punter, averaging 45.5 yards today. Gregory Johnson back deep for Seattle, standing at his own 21-yard line. 2:08 to go. First half, 10-3 Seahawks. Flag thrown. Johnson bobbles the ball, but picks it back up. 30, 35, 37. Flag was dropped back at the 40. 49ers 40-yard line. if the play stands, the Seahawks, well, it won't. Procedure call against Seattle here.
Well, I'm sure that I would think that the 49ers would want to kick that one over. They didn't get a very good punt. Seattle has ended up in good field position again.
Encroachment called against the Seahawks, and it does appear as though we're going to see another punt. That would have been great field position for Seattle at their own 37-yard line. We've got 1:58 to go. In the first half, it's 10-3 Seahawks.
Well, they call that one against Kenny Easley, I think.
And so, Gregory Johnson now trotting off the field.
Well, you can see Kenny at the bottom of your screen discussing it with the official. He wants to know, how could you call me for encroachment? I'm trying to stop the other guy.
Timeout as they talk it over with 1:58 to go. There you see your score, 10-3. 2-minute warning here in the first half. And Seattle with a 7-point lead. They got the touchdown a few minutes ago from Dan Dorning. Now the penalty, of course, moves the football in the 49ers direction, but they've still got the fourth down. They still got to kick it. And they will do that. We'll be back for the 49ers punt in just a minute.
The weather's closing in. The road's getting worse. That's when you want the performance of Exxon unleaded regular gasoline. It has all the octane most cars need to help silence knocks and pings and give you the performance you need. For still higher octane, try Exxon Extra Unleaded. When you want performance, you want Exxon. Quality you can count on.
For 8 hours a day, we're doing what we like doing. Can't beat that. Wanna bet?
Welcome to Miller Time. It's all yours and it's all mine. Bring your thirsty self right here. The rich, smooth taste of Miller beer is what you have in mind. So welcome to Miller Time.
Welcome to the rich, smooth taste of Miller High Life.
That's the barefooted Jim Miller, number 3. He will kick from his own 32 to Gregory Johnson, who has both of his shoes on. Here's the punt. Spiraling kick to the bouncing at the 17, and Gregory's going to let it drop and roll to the 15-yard line, where it is down by Randy Cross. Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. They lead 10-3.
Well, the Seahawks have played excellent football, particularly on defense, really shutting down the 49er passing game, and that's some accomplishment. The offense has maintained possession of the football. They've eaten up the clock. And I tell you, Chuck Knox has to be really happy with the first half play.
Dornick in the backfield by himself as the Seahawks work from the 16. This is Dornick. He'll get a yard or two. He was hit at the line of scrimmage, even behind the line. Ron Ferrari, 54. On the stop, but Dornick spun away for a couple anyway. 1:30 to go in the first half. It's 10-3 Seahawks. 2nd and 7.
Well, I think we'll see the Seahawks keep the ball on the ground again. They'll be very happy to go in to the locker room with a 7-point lead. I don't think they should take any chances at all of throwing the ball down here in their own part of the field.
Again, Dornick by himself in the backfield. Jim Zorn has played the whole first half at quarterback. Dave Craig will play the second half. Dornick, high steps for a couple, fumbles. Now let's see what the indication is from some of the Seattle players that they have retained possession. Harold Jackson pointing, saying, we've still got it. Don't get upset. Charlie Young recovered. A little poetic justice here as Charlie Young let go by the 49ers, picked up by the Seahawks. Caught a nice pass earlier, recovers his own team's fumble here. Dornick out of the game now, replaced by Theodis Brown.
Dan went off the field holding his shoulder. As a matter of fact, they're attending to him on the sideline.
David Hughes, 46, in the game as well. In the backfield, a timeout. It's called by Chuck Knox as Jim Zorn goes to the far sideline to talk things over. Zorn passing in the first half, 9 out of 14 for 106 yards. That's probably all the passing he'll do with 30 seconds left in the first half. 3rd and 7 for the Seahawks. Seems likely they'll just run it out. Sunny, clear, 65 degrees here in San Francisco.
And
Park holds
very little wind. Really unusual here, Candlestick by the Bay.
You know, we're going to see the University of California Marching Band, which, frankly, this is the same band that, I'm trying to think, didn't they play defense last year in a very...
No, that was a Stanford band that couldn't play defense.
The Stanford band was on defense. It was California was on offense. So this California Marching Band is not going to play offense or defense. They're going to play instruments here at the halftime. Some running statistics in the first half for the Seahawks. Theodis Brown's carried the ball 5 times for 10 yards. Kurt Warner's carried 7 times for 36, and Cullen Bryant carried it 3 times for 6 yards. Dan Dornick scored the touchdown, 4 carries, 7 yards, and the TD. Jim Zorn in the shotgun on 3rd and 7, asking the band to, could you hold that up for a couple of minutes, Jim is saying. It's not that I don't like music, but I can't hear myself think here. He calls.
I'm surprised, Tony, that they're lining up in the shotgun. The passing formation was only 30 seconds ago. Maybe I'm a little surprised. Maybe he's just going to hand the ball off to one of the backs or just run it himself.
He's in the shotgun with he's got Chris Castor at the bottom of your screen, 83, and it is a handoff to Theodis, who finds a lot of running room and gets to the 39 for the first down. But it is likely that the half will run out. 19. Well, the whistle there calls a timeout. 19 seconds to go. Seahawks call a timeout.
Well, I was right. They did hand the ball off. I just couldn't imagine them taking a chance on throwing the football. And they surprised the 49ers. Theodis coming around the right side. Nice game.
So Theodis gets in a little road work right there as he bangs it out to the 38. 1st and 10, Seahawks with 19 seconds remaining in the first half. There you see Bill Walsh, San Francisco coach.
He's upset that his offense doesn't have the football. I mean, hurry up defense and let's get the ball back for the offense.
Time of possession is a statistic that I would like to see, because it's going to be interesting from the Seahawks standpoint. And we'll take a look at that at halftime. And when we come out for the second half, we'll have first half time of possession. A 19-yard gain officially by Theodis Brown bumps his statistics right up. He's got 6 carries for 29 yards in the first half. David Hughes reporting into the backfield for the Seahawks. There you see 19 seconds to play in this first half. And Seattle at their own 38-yard line. Zorn in the shotgun. He does throw it, and he gets it away nicely to Chris Castor at the 45, short of the first down by 3 yards. And the clock will move to 9 seconds here, and then it's stopped again.
Well, the Seahawks, with that nice run by Theodis, they got themselves in a position where they have a chance to get down for a possible field goal. Therefore, they decided to take a chance and throw the ball. I'm sure they told Jim, only throw a safe pass. And I think they were a little disappointed when Chris Castor caught that ball that he didn't turn up and get upfield as soon as possible instead of backtracking a little bit. Let's watch the replay. Throws the ball underneath the coverage. When he catches the ball here, now he should just turn up and go upfield. Don't come back. Because, you know, the clock is running. He's wasting time here now.
All right, so we've got a 2nd and 3 for the Seahawks with 9 seconds remaining. Now, we had said before this game they'd play some serious preseason football, and they're still driving with 9 seconds to go, throwing a couple of passes inside of 30. inside of 30 seconds, that is. The football at their own 45-yard line, and the Seahawks lead 10-3. Castor and Jackson, the wideouts. The pass for David Hughes is complete. He steps out of bounds at the 49. So again, the clock stopped with 5 seconds to go. And Seattle with a first down.
Nice reception by David Hughes. If they can do that one more time, they're going to have to throw the ball really quickly, though. And if they do catch the ball, they'll have to get out of bounds right away. Otherwise, there won't be any time at all left on the clock. Generally, the quarterback holds the football for about 3 seconds by the time he throws it.
Young and Largent in the game now, and Harold Jackson. 3 wide receivers on the right side. Zorn in the shotgun with Hughes as a blocker. Zorn's got a lot of time. He throws it up there, and it is incomplete. Knocked away. Intended for Charlie Young, 87. And there is the gun ending the first half of play as the Seahawks, with 30 seconds left to go.
It's called Big Ben.
Yeah, pretty serious about
throw it up there.
Okay, we got a 10-3 score at halftime at Candlestick Park. A good first half. The final preseason game for both these teams. And the scoring coming impressively here. A couple of field goals, but then Dornick banged his way in for the touchdown in the second quarter to give the Seahawks a 10-3 lead. We'll come back with second half action after we take this newsroom break. We'll take it back to the King 5 newsroom with Sandy Yang and Lou Gallows.
Good afternoon. I'm Sandy Yang with Lou Gallows with the halftime news. Richard Bottomer, the Y department manager who was accused of shooting to death a black University of Washington student in May, has been found innocent. The victim was 22-year-old Ray O'Neill. His death sparked protests against the King County Prosecutor's Office. Members of the black community were outraged the man who shot O'Neill was arrested, then released, and not charged with that killing for a week. The jury deliberated until midnight last night. They finally decided that Richard Bottomer shot Neal in self-defense in an argument. Bottomer, who refused to be photographed, said after the verdict that he was a scapegoat of the prosecutor, who filed charges under the pressure of the protests.
I feel it was the only verdict that could have been reached. I mean, I did what I had to do to protect myself.
After acquitting Bottomer, the jury decided that under state law, taxpayers are responsible for paying the cost of Bottomer's defense. In the nation's capital, thousands of people have gathered for a rally commemorating the civil rights march made by Martin Luther King 20 years ago. Officials say that crowd that filled the plaza between the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial numbered more than 300,000. A number of speakers, including Coretta Scott King, wife of the slain civil rights leader, the Reverend Martin Luther King Sr., and the Reverend Jesse Jackson, were among those who addressed the crowd. Similar marches were held across the country, including one in Seattle this afternoon. The marchers assembled at Garfield High School and proceeded down Martin Luther King Way. The march to the city will end at the Seattle Center, where a rally will be held and speeches heard. Organizers estimated 10,000 people would take part, but police reports say the figure was much lower. Today's march in Seattle included a diverse number of racial, ethnic, and labor groups. And in sports this afternoon, the baseball game that was interrupted slightly by the Seahawks game. Lou?
Did not change the outcome, though, but we'll show you what exactly happened in that baseball game and give you a brief sports update right after this. Well, when we left the baseball game to join the Seahawks and 49ers, Toronto led the Detroit Tigers by only 1 run. Things changed dramatically after that. The big story of the game, though, is that former Mariner Glenn Abbott got his first start since leaving the Mariners. Here's how the game went. Abbott made his debut in a Tiger uniform against the Toronto Blue Jays in the first inning, and is backing up. Whoops, tape's going the wrong way there, folks. Let's watch it again. There he is, Glenn Abbott on the mound, wearing the Detroit Tiger uniform. He's pitching against the Toronto Blue Jays. In the first inning, the Jays attacked him for 3 hits and 2 runs. But after that, the former Mariners settled down and yielded only 3 hits and no runs the rest of the way. Abbey worked 7 innings, then gave way, the game tied at 2 to Aurelio Lopez, but the Tigers' ace reliever had problems. He gave up that homer to Rance Molinex, which put Toronto ahead by a score of 4-2. Then Lloyd Mosby, the next batter, hit another homer. Back-to-back. Toronto led 5-2. But Detroit rallied to pull within 1 run. That's when we joined the football game, but Detroit didn't get any closer. Toronto broke open the contest when Dave Collins lashed his 4th hit of the game there. That scored Alfredo Griffin. Then Lloyd Mosby came to the plate, squeaked a single over Lou Whitaker's head to score Collins. and that made it 7-4, and that was the final. The Blue Jays over the Tigers, 7-4. Well, let's look at the American League scoreboard. There's Toronto beating Detroit, and Cleveland plays Seattle tonight. In the National League, Cincinnati and St. Louis have been suffering rain problems all day. Cincinnati is leading that ball game. In the midway through the contest, the score is 1-0. One other game that we can report on in baseball, Oakland leading Milwaukee after 3 innings. The score is 3-2. I'll have more sports after this.
Be good.
It's truck award time at your gold medal Datsun dealers. And we're going head to head and tailgate to tailgate with the competition to sell you a truck by September 4th. So come in now while your gold medal Datsun dealer is going all out to win this truck award.
Oh, what a feeling.
Pull off one heck of a truck deal for yourself.
Keep score of the Seattle Seahawks with the official Seahawks fax book, exclusively at your nearest gold medal Western Washington Datsun dealer.
To get to the top in American business, you must be fast, persuasive, and impossible to ignore.
The recommendation that I suggest...
Isn't it interesting these are the same qualities of a long-distance phone call?
No, this I highly recommend. No delays.
Long distance.
I appreciate very much your interest.
It can take you further than you think.
That's in the family.
Well, the on and again, off again Seattle Sonics trade with San Diego materialized last night when center James Donaldson signed his contract. He promptly was traded to the Clippers along with Greg Kelser and top-round draft pick and a player to be named later, presumably Mark Radford. In return, the Sonics picked up forward Tom Chambers and guard Al Wood. College football polls are out, the first of the season, and here is the coaches' poll from United Press. Nebraska, number 1. Texas, number 2. Then you see the rest of them there. The top 10 did not contain any Pac-10 teams. You'll find them in the second 10, where there's UCLA at number 12. The Huskies, 16th ranked in the coaches' poll, 17th in the AP poll, and we'll have the AP poll to show you that at 5 o'clock right after the football game on King 5 News. We'll be back with more news in just a moment.
Mileage, quality. Price, mileage, quality. Price, mileage, quality. Price, mileage, quality. Honda. Honda. What other cars are trying to be. See your Puget Sound Honda dealer today.
For more of what you're looking for, turn to the USA Network on Viacom Cablevision. Look to USA Daytime for the provocative interviews and insights of Sonia Friedman for health information and film classics on the USA Movie. Look to USA Kids Time, highly acclaimed children's entertainment for growing minds, animated features from Calliope, do-at-home projects, and special films, all aimed at both teaching and entertaining your children. Look to USA Sports Time for over 500 sporting events each year, exclusive NBA basketball, Major League Baseball, and the most complete coverage of postseason playoffs anywhere. And for great late-night entertainment, look to USA Night Flight, reflecting the moods of popular culture with top rock concerts, hot new comedians, and classic cult films. Best of all, the USA Cable Network is just part of a great entertainment lineup from Viacom. For more of what you're looking for, call Viacom Cablevision today.
And that's it for now. The halftime news, Seahawks leading 10-3 over the 49ers. We'll be back at 5 o'clock or after the game. See you then.
The Seahawks and the 49ers is sponsored by Miller High Life, the best beer for the best time of the day. Welcome to Miller Time. By Puget Sound Pontiac dealers with their $5 million selection. Now's the time to find out how much your Puget Sound Pontiac dealer can save for you on a new Pontiac. See your Puget Sound Pontiac dealer today. And by Alaska Airlines. Next trip, call your travel agent or Alaska Airlines and fly with a happy face.
We're back live at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, and on the field, the University of California Marching Band entertaining the crowd of nearly 61,800 fans on a perfect day in not Southern California, it's by the bay, and it's a beauty, I'll tell you right now. And it's a beautiful football game in terms of offense and defense for the Seahawks so far today. We'll be talking more about that as we get into the second half. The scoring drives first in the first quarter. Ray Warshin kicked a 30-yard field goal for the 49ers to give them a 3-0 lead. The Seahawks came right back, drove the football down the field, but then had to settle for a field goal of their own by Norm Johnson, that covered 29 yards to tie the game at 3-3. And then Dan Dornick ran it in from 2 yards out. He got hit at the 4. He got hit at the goal line, but he went in anyway. And it gave the Seahawks the lead 9-3. And, of course, the extra point kick was good for the 10-3 lead. The drive going 55 yards in 6 plays with 3:07 left in the first half, and that gave the Seahawks a 10-3 lead. And I think the most important thing to point out here in the first half is that on the first series, the first drive by the 49ers, they went down the field like they were going through melted butter, throwing those short passes. But then there was a major adjustment on defense for the Seahawks, and they were able to stop the short tosses and stop the 49ers. We'll see, I'm sure, an offensive adjustment of the second half by San Francisco. But for now, the Seahawks have a 10-3 lead, and perhaps we'll see more of Dwight Clark deep, number 87. We did not see Dwight as much as you might expect in the first half. One thing we did see was Kurt Warner. And Warner, who did not score, ran the football and ran it well. He was hurt, of course, last week and didn't play. Injured in the Green Bay Packer game. Came back today and pretty well did the job. And I'm sure we'll see Kurt either in the third or the fourth quarter. We're going to try to pick up some highlights here in the first half of play. Working, of course, with KPIX in San Francisco. Going along pretty much with an excellent job of live and videotape by them today. Waiting now for some of those highlights. Take a look now at some of the action in the first half. Gene, we welcome Gene back into the booth there. Gene, we were just talking briefly about some adjustments that the 49ers may have to make really in this second half. They were pretty well shut off, especially in the second quarter.
Well, I was outside talking to my old quarterback and roommate John Brody, and I said to John, Seattle is playing pass defense better than anyone has played against the 49ers. And I said that I think if Dwight Clark plays the second half, what they might try to do is try to get him to go downfield, take the ball to him in the short zone, and try to throw the ball over their heads. John said also that he feels that they need to throw the ball to their running backs.
Let's take a look momentarily at the scoring highlights in the first half. Here we are, 30-yard Ray Warshin field goal, the 11-year veteran. Made it 3-0 49ers. And then Norm Johnson came right back and kicked a 29-yarder of his own to tie it up at 3-3. Seahawks driving well, but they were stalled and had to boot it for the field goal, so they tied it at 3-all. And since then have taken the lead. We're going to see the Dan Dornick touchdown. Now watch how many times Dornick is stuffed here before he gets into the end zone. He's hit right here.
Ferrari missing a tackle.
And he gets in there anyway. I'll tell you, he is, well.
There are the stats. You see first downs. Seahawks way out in front, 13-7. Total yards, 190 for the Seahawks and 99 for the 49ers. Turnovers, neither team's turned it over. Penalties about the same.
A couple of things that I wanted to point out. One is that the Seahawks still have 8 running backs in camp, Gene. There are going to be 11 player cuts after this game between now and Tuesday. There's 60 players now on the roster. They'll get down to 49. And, you know, you have to wonder. You don't have to wonder. You've got to know that a couple, at least, of those 8 running backs are going to be cut. And, you know, you have to wonder about Reggie Gibson. We haven't seen the number 40 at all. Charles Thomas, 34. You've been impressed with Thomas. Eric Lane, David Hughes.
I've been really impressed with Charles Thomas, number 34. He hasn't played here in the first half. He may get some action in the second half. Theotis has looked good, run the ball well. Of course, Kurt Warner's just been terrific. It's going to be a tough situation cutting here in the running backs. Cullen Bryant has looked good. David Hughes has looked good. Eric Lane is a good special teams player. It's a very tough decision.
I wonder if they'll maybe use one of those running backs in that trade that never worked out for Sherman Smith with Kansas City, that future draft choice swap a couple weeks ago, and Sherman had the Kansas City physical and failed it because of his neck, and that knocked the trade off. Sherman's still on the roster, but he's got a roster exemption.
You know, sometimes what happens in a situation like this is that teams will showcase a player. For example, Theotis has looked good here in this football game, has run the ball well. You know, there might be a team that might be looking at Theotis. You never know. They might say, hey, can we work something out in a trade for Theotis? That's always a possibility.
Okay, well, there are, of course, one or two football players we know they're not going to trade. Kurt Warner. Theotis was the other one I was going to mention, but I guess you're right. You never know. They could use some help at tackle on this Seahawk team. Maybe a trade there is in the offing. We don't know. The next major test for the Seahawks will be the first major test, and that's the Kansas City Chiefs a week from Sunday in Kansas City on NBC on Channel 5. The 49ers, well, they'll be right here a week from today. They have a rare Saturday opener against the Philadelphia Eagles. 49ers will receive the second half kickoff. They trail in the game 10-3. The Seahawks impressive in that second quarter on defense. Norm Johnson teeing up the ball, ready to go. Talking there with Joe Norman, 52, Eugene Williams, number 54. 49ers have Carl Monroe, 32, and there you see number 43, Dana McLemore, back deep to receive the second half kickoff. 10-3 Seahawks, and here we go with the second half. The end over end kick from Johnson lands at the 7, caught by Carl Monroe, and Monroe with the flag down.
Flag down, and that flag was thrown late.
See what it's all about. See officials talk it over. We've got a trade that's just been announced. Gene's just been handed to me that Mike McCormick, the Seahawk general manager, has announced that Sherman Smith has been traded to San Diego as part of the Roger Carr deal. So that answers one question.
That's an interesting.
Illegal block, number 61 on the return. First down.
49ers with the football. 1st and 10 at their own 10. Seahawks lead 10-3. Joe Montana is still in there, surprisingly enough. Thought he was only going to play a half. Roger Craig on the carry gets a yard. Craig, the rookie out of Nebraska, a tailback converted to a fullback. Joe Nash, 72.
I think that Montana would like to play some more here in the second half. He wasn't as successful as he usually is in the first half, but I think most of the credit for that should go to the Seahawk defense. I think he'd like to get his team even before he takes the rest of the game off.
Montana back to throw. Mike Wilson, 85, has it. He's down at the 25-yard line. Mike Wilson out of Washington State University. Joe Norman over on defense.
Let's still play action fake, but the Seahawks have changed with the defensive backs. They're going with their second team now. Gregory Johnson in at the cornerback position. Free safety, Ken McAllister. They converge here to make the tackle.
49ers pick up 15 yards, 1st and 10 of their own 24. Ronaldo Nehemiah, 83, just off your screen. Wide left. Roger Craig, 33, has the football. Picks up 5, 6, 7 yards. He'll be 3 short of another 49er first down. Mike Wilson throwing a block in there.
Craig showing good speed for a fullback. Of course, as you mentioned before, he was a halfback that's been converted to that fullback spot. Shows nice speed getting to the outside.
Sam Merriman out of Idaho in on the tackle. Sam hanging in there. I was just saying, he's played well in the first 3.5 preseason games. Like to see him stick. 85 Mike Wilson at the bottom of Well, he's not at the bottom of your screen, but he is wide left. Montana. The handoff, they pick up a couple. Roger Craig again up over the 36. The first down. Robert Hardy on the tackle for the Seahawks. So the 49ers are moving it early in the second half. 12:40 to go, and it's 10-3 Seahawks. Roger Craig's carried the ball 8 times for 35 yards, so he's been an impressive rookie, although he has been hurt since the first game, the first preseason game, which the 49ers lost to the LA Raiders 26-23. First and 10 at the 36. Again, Roger Craig. He's hit hard, but he picks up 5. That's Merriman on the stop again. Sam Merriman from Idaho, 93. Roger Craig, 33, as we watch again.
Well, you really like Sam Merriman, and I tell you, he does a good job. Look at this hit here. That's a good blow.
In the lineup now, you're going to see McAllister, Johnson, Dufek, and Joe Norman on defense for the Seattle Seahawks. There's Eugene Williams, 54. 2nd and 6 at their own 40. 49ers. Wendell Tyler gets nothing. Maybe a mouthful of dust out by second base there.
Oh, and one of the Seahawk players is down.
Eugene Williams was first in on the tackle. Well, he was down.
I couldn't see the number, but I think what happened is that the dirt infield caused the Seahawk player to slip, and I think he twisted his knee a little bit.
We'll be back in just a minute.
Not long ago, airlines were flying high.
More champagne, sir?
And service was something special.
Entree?
But now, more and more airlines are offering less.
Sandwich.
With olive. And pickle. And less.
Snack time!
And less.
Peanuts!
At Alaska Airlines, we haven't forgotten our business is service. And we're out to remind you every time you fly.
As life changes, you change with it. Always moving ahead. Facing new challenges today and especially tomorrow. Like you, First Interstate Bank of Washington is moving ahead too, developing more services, more ways to make your banking and your life more enjoyable, today and tomorrow, all over the West. At First Interstate Bank of Washington, we're looking ahead.
On your screen, 75, Robert Hardy, hurt on the last play as they check what looks to be the outside of his left knee. He's getting a hand to his feet now and will be helped off the field. Robert Hardy, hurt on the last play, hobbling off the field. You see, obviously favoring the left leg. Joe Nash, 72, will replace Hardy. Gene, I was told before the game that Joe Montana would play a half, and we would be likely not to see him in there after the half, but he sure is still in. Here's the play in which Hardy was injured.
You can see Robert limping away from the rest of the group there. However he hurt it quickly.
3rd and 6, 49ers from their own 40. Roger Craig, a big hole. Craig to the 45. Paul Moyer finally stops him. First down again for San Francisco.
Well, the 49ers didn't waste any time at all going right up the middle where Robert Hardy left. Roger Craig does a good job of running.
Craig, 10 rushes, 54 yards on the ground so far today. As we look again, Roger Craig out of Nebraska. First down again, and the 49ers are at the Seahawk 45. Craig in motion. Montana looks to him and then throws over the right side instead for Nehemiah, I believe 83. And he makes a nice catch, a leaping catch at the 40.
That was a good catch by Ronaldo Nehemiah. Joe Montana wanted to throw the ball to his halfback. You'll see him look to the right. He wants to throw the ball out here to his halfback Craig. Then he comes back to Nehemiah, who goes up high, cradles the ball. Nehemiah's second catch. for 19 yards.
His forward motion got him to the 37-yard line. So it's 2nd and 2 with Nehemiah in motion. You see 83 to the top of your screen. And Roger Craig on the carry. Picked up a yard and then got shoved back.
Roger Craig.
Manu Tuiasosopo, number 74. Meeting Craig. Craig actually picked up a half yard. 3rd and 1 for the 49ers, and they are at the 36-yard line of the Seahawks. Seattle leads 10-3. We've got 9:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. Roger Craig and Wendell Tyler in the eye for San Francisco. 2 tight end offense. Tyler, 26, first down. Wendell Tyler got down to the 33-yard line. Shelton Robinson was there on the stop for Seattle.
Well, both teams are substituting freely here in the second half, playing a lot of second-team players, wanting to get another good look at everybody before they make the final cuts.
Wendell's carried the ball 8 times for just 15 yards today. Wide receiver on the bottom of your screen is Wilson. Montana going to the right. Dwight Clark deep. It's overthrown. Nehemiah, 83, the intended receiver, not Dwight Clark, and Kerry Justin, 26 on defense. There's Ronaldo Nehemiah out of Maryland. Track star, but he shows that he can catch the football too. 2 plays ago, making that acrobatic grab.
Well, he was open deep. Montana just didn't get the ball to him. You know, that's a very tough job for Kerry Justin to try to keep up with a guy who is that fast when he just comes out of there blazing and takes off.
2nd and 10 at the 33-yard line of the Seahawks. 49ers with 8:30 to go in the 3rd quarter, trailing Seattle 10-3. Montana to throw. Oh, it's a beautiful catch at the 18-yard line by Mike Wilson, the Cougar. Wilson in some traffic makes the catch at the 18.
Well, you can't cover him much better than this. You can see the blitz coming from the middle, but Montana throws a perfect strike. Wilson just turns around, the ball hits him right on the numbers. Good coverage by Kerry Justin. You can't ask him to do very much more. You'll see the blitz coming. Montana gets rid of the ball, ducks, perfect pass.
And so another first down for the 49ers. It's 1st and 10, San Francisco at the 19-yard line of the Seahawks. 10-3, Seattle leads, but the 49ers are on the verge of changing that. Roger Craig to the 15.
Roger Craig.
Second down and 8. The ball now at the 16-yard line. Mike Wilson reports back into the lineup, replacing Freddie Solomon, 88. And there you see Robert Hardy on crutches, walking to the locker room, the left knee propped up. They were working on the outside of the left knee after he was injured. 2nd and 8. 49ers at the 16.
Blitz.
Oh, and it works. Wendell Tyler thrown for a loss by Joe Norman out of Indiana. Norman drives him back to the 24.
You can see number 52, Joe Norman, coming in the middle on the blitz. Good tackle on Wendell Tyler.
3rd and 13.
And now Freddie Solomon reports back into the game for the 49ers, replacing Ronaldo Nehemiah. This Joe Norman had a frustrating season. Injured all last year, back in good health now. 49ers 3rd and 13 at the 22-yard line of the Seahawks. Montana wants to throw. He's got time. He's got a receiver, Mike Wilson, at the 20 to the 16. Stopped by McAllister. Dave Brown also in on the play. So the 49ers get back to the 16, but it's a 4th and 8 now at the 16. And Ray Warshing, who kicked a 30-yard field goal in the first quarter to give San Francisco a 3-0 lead, is in the game now.
Well, you can see Mike Wilson took his eyes off the ball a little too soon, almost dropped it.
Warshing will try from the 23, which of course makes it a 33-yard attempt. The kick looked like it was deflected, but it's good, and it becomes a 10-6 ball game. So on Wersching's 33-yard field goal, the 49ers get closer. Time out of the field. Seattle leads it 10-6.
I thought it would taste good, but not this good.
Diet Coke, yeah, Diet Coke. Look all the taste from Coca-Cola.
I don't care if it's diet or undiet. It tastes great.
Diet Coke, taste Diet Coke. Just for the taste of it. Just for the taste of it. Diet Coke.
Now there's both Diet Coke and new caffeine-free Diet Coke.
Hi, I'm Steve Largent, and this is a new Pontiac. Sure, Pontiac builds excitement, but I get enough of that at work. I own a Pontiac because I got a great deal. The 8 Puget Sound Pontiac dealers have a $5 million selection, and that means special factory consideration and better deals for you. When you play on a team like I do, you have to trust your teammates. That's why I really like this Pontiac team.
See your Puget Sound Pontiac dealer and find out how much their $5 million inventory can save for you.
49ers scoring drive, 16 plays, 74 yards. And they took quite a bit of time off that clock. 9:14, a 33-yard field goal by Ray Wersching. And we've got a 10-6 game. The Seahawks still in the lead. Tony Ventrella with Gene Washington at Candlestick Park in San Francisco on a perfectly beautiful August afternoon. The final preseason test for both these teams. Wersching kicking off. It's short. It's fielded by Joe Norman at the 28, 30, 35, 36. So Joe Norman having fun out there today. Gets to run one back.
He gets a little kidded on the sideline about that one. Okay, the Seahawks, they're in good field position. They need to try to maintain what they had in that first half, eating up the clock, move downfield. If they don't get a score, keep the 49ers backed up. Try to maintain that good field position.
See David Craig in the game now, 17. And Pete Metzelar's in motion. Eric Lane, 37, gets a yard at most, half a yard really. So Eric Lane seeing his first action on offense, and Dave Craig the same. As Chuck Knox continues his policy of using Zorn in the first half and Dave Craig in the second half. Last week, Craig outshined Jim. They each had a touchdown pass, but Zorn's toss to Largent was actually thrown behind him, and Steve had to come back and get it. Craig had a beautiful pass to Chris Castor for a touchdown. Byron Walker is wide to the right. Theodis Brown in the backfield, but a whistle blows the play dead before anything can happen. Flags are thrown.
Too much time against the Seahawks.
All right, so they'll be marched back to the 31-yard line. There's the official delay of game call, and it makes it 2nd and 15, Seattle from their own 30. 4:54 to go, third quarter. Seahawks 10, 49ers 7. Chris Castor 83 and Byron Walker 89 wide right. Metzelar's tight end left. Eric Lane in the backfield with Theodis Brown. Dave Craig to throw, pumps once, lets it go. It's caught by Walker at the 45 to the 50 to the 45 of the San Francisco 49ers. So he picks up a chunk of yardage before Dwight Hicks stops him at the 45, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Seahawks there.
Here's my #1 draft choice from last year, Bones Walker. I really like the way he plays. He plays football intelligently. He really knows how to read the defense and how to get open and let the quarterback see his body. In other words, turn your numbers to the quarterback so you have a good target. He does that really well.
Seahawks drive takes him to the 45 of the San Francisco 49ers. Walker wide right, Castor wide left. Eric Lane with the ball to the 40 to the 35. He'll get another first down. Eric Lane, a good hard run, was hit hard, but still got the first down.
Well, he's making that job of cutting a running back very tough. Nice run. Comes up in there, runs tough, and we talked about this before. 8 running backs. very unlikely that the team will carry that many players. Here we take a shot. We get a look from the secondary as they come up, close up, make the tackle. There's number 42, Ronnie Lott from the 49ers, a great all-pro defensive back.
That's close enough to measure. Obviously, depending on where they place the ball after that hit by Dana McLemore. It is a first down by the nose of the football. So the Seahawks will restart 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line of the San Francisco 49ers with 3:43 to go in the third quarter. It is 10-6 Seahawks.
You know, Tony, 10-6 in the third quarter sounds like it's a dull game, but to me it's really exciting to watch Seattle play great defense and for their offense to continue to keep possession of the football. I'll let you get back to the play-by-play.
Castor wide left. The fake give to Theotis. Craig throws it. He's got Bones. Oh, a little overthrown. Overthrown by a foot, maybe. Ronnie Lott, 43, and Dana McLemore, 43 on the defense. Ronnie Lott, 42.
Well, that shows you the kind of arm that Dave Craig has. He put it out there where he had to. The free safety, Dana McLemore, was in good position, so he had to get it over his head. Byron Walker had Ronnie Lott beat, but McLemore was sitting back there in the middle, so that was really the only place Craig could throw that ball safely.
2nd and 10, Seattle, at the San Francisco 35. 3:19 to go, third quarter. It's 10-6 Seahawks. Byron Walker, wide left at the top of your screen, and there you see just the helmet of Chris Castor, 83. Wide right at the bottom of your screen with Lane and Theotis in the backfield. Eric Lane gets 5. A flag is thrown. He gets to the 29.
And that's going to be holding. Usually when that flag is thrown in that area, it's holding against the offense. Let's see if we can see it in the middle. Reggie McKenzie coming over, making the cross block. The official throws the ball, throws his flag down where Kane Kawai is, number 62. Kane Kawai, who plays both guard and center.
So tough to see the hole, Gene, because, as you said, pointed out many times, as you've said, there's usually more than one hole that takes place. It's which one they happen to catch.
Who gets caught?
In that case, it's the second-year center. We've got Eric Hughes, David Hughes rather, 46, and Theotis Brown in the game now. And Dave Craig from his own, or from the San Francisco 45, is in the shotgun now. It's 2nd and 20 for the Seahawks. Theotis around the left side to the 45, to the 42, driven out of bounds by Ronnie Lott.
Oh. Well, from the shotgun, he hands the ball off to Theotis. Got Reggie McKenzie out front, leading the way. We don't see it on this replay, but Reggie gets hurt. He's off to the sideline. They're attending to his shoulder. Well, that's really a tough situation. You get one of your guys who's going to be so important to you when the season opens, Reggie McKenzie, and he gets an injury here in the last preseason game. Hopefully it's nothing serious, but they're attending to him now on the sidelines.
3rd and 17, Seahawks from the San Francisco 42-yard line. 3:04 to go, third quarter. Shotgun. Craig to throw. Castor's got it. Beautiful catch. First down. Castor at the 23 made an excellent catch. Jeff Allen on the defense.
I think I'd have to be a little more demonstrative than saying that was excellent. This is a super catch. Really good throw by Craig, but this is a great catch. He turns around. He only sees the ball when it's almost to him. Does a full degree turn. Watch this catch. He goes up. He turns all the way around in the air. Castor makes a super catch here.
Got somebody on him, and the ball is thrown a little high, but he makes the grab.
Watch, he goes up, turns all the way around. Oh, that's a beauty. That's beautiful.
1st and 10 at the 22. Eric Lane straight up the middle to the 20. Driven back, but he'll get credit for a couple. Blanchard Montgomery driving Lane back to the 35, but his forward motion places the ball, as you will see in a minute, close to the 20-yard line.
All of the running backs are really hustling today.
They are. I mean, you got 8 of them to choose from, and probably they're only going to keep 5. And boy, all 8. We haven't seen any of Reginald Gibson, number 40, but the others have been in there. Byron Walker, 89 wide left, Castor wide right. Lane and Theodis Brown in the backfield. 2nd and 8, Seahawks.
Comes a blitz.
Craig gets it away. It's caught by Lane at the 10. He gets to the 9. First down, Seattle. Milt McCall makes the stop for San Francisco. 1st and goal for the Seahawks.
Well, the 49ers came with a blitz, but Eric Lane found the opening. Dave Craig throws a shot. Seattle continuing to play really good football, and they're playing against a good team.
Well, you know, we talk about decisions. What about the quarterback decision? Dave Craig, 3 out of 4, 55 yards already. And we're only, well, we still got a minute and a half to go in the 3rd quarter. 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. Seahawks knocking at the door.
Here comes a blitz.
Craig throws it across. Touchdown, Eric Lane. What a beautiful play. What a great play that was.
Craig sees the blitz coming. He rolls out and throws a perfect pass just over the defender's head, and Eric Lane pulls it in for the touchdown. That's excellent football. You see number 50 coming up the middle on the blitz. Craig sees him, gets outside, buys enough time. He finds Eric Lane going across the middle, and look at that pass. Just enough to get over that linebacker's head for the touchdown. That's a beauty.
The stock on both those players has just risen tremendously. That was an outstanding catch, Gene. Thrown very well. The kick by Norm Johnson is good to make it 17-6 San Francisco. Back to talk more about that in a minute. It's 1:27 to go, 3rd quarter, and the Seahawks lead at 17-6. We'll be right back.
Here's good news about Exxon gasoline. Now you have a choice of how you buy it. If you pay cash at participating Exxon stations, you'll get a discount because cash transactions are less costly. But if you prefer the convenience of buying on credit, your Exxon credit card is welcome as always. Either way, the quality of the gasoline is the same. Exxon, quality you can count on.
Olympic Overcoat House Paint. We've got the inside on outside protection. Inside every can of Olympic Overcoat is our 100% acrylic formula that helps protect the outside of your home from the sun's harmful rays and the damage caused by rain. Inside every can is Olympic's 50 years of experience in protecting the outside of homes. Olympic Overcoat. We've got the inside on outside protection.
The Seahawks scoring drive, 9 plays, 64 yards. They ate up 4:19 on the clock. 9-yard pass from Dave Craig to Eric Lane, and Seattle leads 17-6. 1:27 to go in the 3rd quarter. The kickoff in the end zone of McLemore. He'll run it out to the 10, the 12, and that's it. He'll get no further. Don Dufek, 25. On the stop. And we will come back to Candlestick Park in San Francisco in a minute. Seahawks leading 17-6.
You know, I've made an important decision. I think it's time I gave up this surfing life. I mean, I still go to the beach just about every day. Then I just hang out, drink a light beer from Miller. Not getting filled up and grooving on light's great taste. But maybe it is time I tried to make something of myself. Time I gave all this up and went out and got a real job. Nah.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you've always wanted in a beer, and less.
Road and Track said, the Mercedes-Benz of small cars. If Detroit is interested in quality, this is the car they should study. Popular Mechanics, if I were in the market for a small car, this would be my only choice. Motor Trend, they proved excellence can be improved. Money Magazine, the small car that held up best on trade-in. What car are all these experts talking about? Honda. That's right, Honda. Just drive one, you'll understand. See your Puget Sound Honda dealer today.
Number 6 is Matt Cavanaugh out of the University of Pittsburgh, his 6th year in the NFL. He'll quarterback the rest of the game. Joe Montana finishing up pretty well. 2 running backs in there now. Vince Williams, 40. And Williams on the carry there gets up over the 15 to the 16-yard line, a gain of 2, perhaps 3 yards. With 1:06 to go, third quarter, the Seahawks lead 17-6. Dave Craig has been spectacular here in the second half. I started to say before, Joe Montana threw the ball 20 times, completed 10 passes for 106 yards, playing a half and most of this third quarter. But Kavanaugh in there now, the pitch to Monroe. And Monroe gets a yard or 2, and that's it. Third down. Seattle defense playing some pumped up football here.
They played excellent defense the entire ball game. The only bad note is the fact that Robert Hardy went off the field with a knee injury and had to use crutches to go into the locker room, which isn't a good sign.
Big play here. 3rd and 6. San Francisco at their own 17-yard line. Seahawks would like to stop him and get the ball back. Kavanaugh to throw. Getting a rush from Bryant, who gets one arm on him and then misses. The pass lofted in the direction of Mike Wilson, covered by Dave Brown. Perhaps thrown away on purpose because Jeff Bryant was ready to hammer Matt Kavanaugh. It'll bring up a 4th down, the punting situation. And again, Gene, the Seattle defense shutting the 49ers off.
Well, you can see 277s doing battle. Jeff Bryant gets the better part of it. Kavanaugh's first pass looks like a duck that's been shot.
And so the Seahawks will get the football back. Miller, the barefooted punter. And that's an end-over-end short squabbly kick, bobbled by Gregory Johnson. Picks it up again to the 50. He'll get to the 49-yard line of the 49ers. What field position? Blanchard Montgomery with the tackle. And the gun ending the third quarter of play. So the Seahawks leading 17-6 after 3 quarters of play at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. 17-6 Seattle. We'll be back with the Seahawks on offense in just a minute.
I like this beer better.
Why is that, Carol?
I think it's more flavorful. It feels very light and very smooth.
Carol Lowe picked Rainier Light during this taste test against her favorite light beer.
Bud Light. Well, I usually drink Bud Light.
Uh-huh.
I like light beer. And Rainier Light, I thought was very good. As far as I'm concerned, that's all a beer should be.
And less calories than Bud Light.
I think that's a plus. I think that's great.
Try Rainier Light and discover how good light beer can taste.
I just didn't expect it to be a light beer.
This is the moment when you need the quick response and smooth acceleration that comes from Exxon unleaded regular gasoline. It has all the octane most cars need to help free your engine from knocking and pinging. And for even more octane, try Exxon Extra Unleaded. When the moment demands performance, get Exxon. Quality you can count on.
Grand Tree's blown out all the stops for this year's gigantic Labor Day sale happening now. Prices have been slashed 20 to 50% throughout the store. Save $100 on this queen-size sofa sleeper, now just $188. Only $128 buys you this 3-piece bookcase. And our king-size papasan chair is an incredibly low $118. Don't miss the 20 to 50% store-wide savings during Grand Tree's Labor Day sale. For furniture, new and rental return, shop Grand Tree, where instant credit makes buying even easier.
Seahawks right in the middle of a play, as you see. And they'll pick up 3. David Hughes over the midfield stripe to the 46-yard line. Let me see where they spot the ball. 46-yard line of San Francisco, bringing up a 2nd down and 7.
Ball at 46.
Seahawks so far, total yardage 269. They've passed for 173, run for 96. 49ers have passed for 106, run for 71, total of 177. 2nd and 7 for Seattle at the San Francisco 46. Craig to throw. Byron Walker complete. First down at the 37-yard line of the 49ers.
Byron Walker plays like an all-pro. It certainly helps, though, when your quarterback can throw like this. Look at that pass. Perfect. Right to the sidelines. Bones beats Jeff Allen for the 49ers, picking up a first down.
I'll tell you, there is going to be one big problem picking that starting quarterback next week. All along, Coach Knox has said it'll be Jim Zorn, but David Craig has been outstanding today and last week. Thomas, 34. Picked up a couple. A reminder to boys and girls between the ages of 8 and 15, be sure to pick up your Coca-Cola Grid Whiz entry form at all Albertson stores. This is a great football skills contest with lots of prizes for everyone. Contest ends September the 10th, so pick up the entry form first thing tomorrow if you can. The Coca-Cola Grid Whiz contest entry forms at Albertson stores. 2nd and 8 for the Seahawks at the San Francisco 35. Craig to throw. He's got time, he's got a receiver, he's got a completion at the 27.
This is the best that I've seen.
That was Mike
Dave.
Tice, the tight end. Excuse me, Jim.
I was going to say, this is the best that I've seen Dave Craig throw the football in a long time. He's not tentative at all. He knows what he wants to do with the football. He's very relaxed, and he's playing very well. And as you mentioned before, it might be a tough decision deciding who's going to be the starting quarterback, but one thing you don't want to do is have a controversy. It can't hurt to have a guy who's as good as Dave Craig coming in as a backup, and he's played awfully well so far this afternoon.
1st and 10 at the San Francisco 27. David Hughes around the left side drags one tackler for a couple of extra yards. A stop made by Tommy Holmoe, number 28. Dave Craig 6 out of 7 for 81 yards and 1 touchdown so far today. 2nd and 4 rather for the Seahawks. They're at the 21-yard line of the 49ers. 12:32 to go in the game. Seahawks lead 17-6, and they're driving again. Castor wide left. Byron Walker right. David Hughes with the ball. Hughes to the 15, 14, 13. First down, Seattle. And David Hughes has looked tough the few times he's carried the ball. So they move the sticks again. The Seahawks are just continuing to pound it out on the ground. There is a San Francisco player on the ground. And we're going to take a break. Time out of the field. 12:10 to play in the game. Seahawks lead it 17-6. We'll be back in just a minute.
Hi, this is Low Profit Glenn from Glenn Grant Chevrolet, and I'm here to shoot down high prices. Like this 79 Camaro, $35.97. The 78 Malibu Classic Wagon, $29.97. The 78 Monte Carlo, $25.97. The 79 Olds Cutlass, $38.97. The 78 Camaro Z28, $49.97. This 80 Chev pickup, $57.97. This 78 Ford Granada, $16.97. This 80 Citation, $27.99. This 82 Toyota Tercel, $14.97. Price is good through Monday only. See your straight shooter today at Glen Grant Chevrolet in Burien, 5 minutes from South Center, 7 minutes from SeaTac, open evenings and Sundays.
There you see the score, 17-6 Seahawks, 12:10 to go in the football game. Seahawks with 21 first downs today, and the 49ers with 12 so far. Might point out there are quite a few second-team players in the 49er defense now, but nonetheless, there's Ed Judy shaken up, number 50 on the San Francisco bench. 1st and 10 Seattle there at the 13-yard line of San Francisco, and the Seahawks are leading 17-6. Dave Craig, the lone setback. Castor wide left. He's the target. Castor's got it at the 7-yard line. Steps out of bounds. Clock stops at 11:49.
Well, the Seahawks are making it look easy. As I mentioned before, Dave Craig is really relaxed. He's throwing the football with lots of authority. Looks very, very good. Castor looking good. Byron Walker looking good. Seahawks finally have some depth at the wide receiving position. That's something that they've wanted for a long time.
2nd and 4 at the 7-yard line of the 49ers. Again, Castor and Byron Walker. However, Dave Craig's got the ball, gets inside the 5 to the 4. That was David Hughes, I'm sorry. 46. Well, Craig had the ball for a second, and then he gave it to David Hughes. Got to keep those things. Sometimes, you know who it is, Gene, and you say somebody else's name. David Hughes, as I mentioned, has been running well. Charles Thomas, we haven't seen a lot of him today. Kurt Warner had a great first quarter. We haven't seen Kurt at all, really, or too much in the second half. 3rd and 1, Seahawks. They are inside the 5-yard line. That's Hughes again, and he may have the first down, although the San Francisco fans don't think so.
Well, it's going to be very close, and they're going to call timeout and bring it in for the measurement. I think they might be a little shy.
I think they're about 6 inches shy. Pete Metzelaars, the big tight end, indicating to the bench that they are short. Now they're going to measure it, and we'll see. Depends, of course, on the placement of the football, but Norm Johnson has already trotted onto the field. Not that he's a pessimist, but he's a realist. Yeah, they're short by about a foot. Well, now you see it's more than a foot, 1.5 feet, too. So Norm is out there for good reason. He's going to try a field goal, which, Gene, would give them a 20-6 lead, and you got to think that's healthy with 11 minutes to go.
Well, that's the reason they're not going to go for try to pick up the first down here, or try to get a touchdown, is that with 20 points, now the 49ers would have to score 2 touchdowns in order to tie. So that's why they're selecting here to go for this field goal and not to try to get the touchdown.
21-yard attempt by Norm Johnson. Blair Bush's snap. The kick is up. It looks fine. It's good. And so, with time out of the field at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, 10:39 to go in the football game. The Seahawks have taken a lead 20-6 over the 49ers. We'll be right back.
Pontiac has got your number. 10.9% financing on 3 exciting new Pontiacs. 10.9% on the electronically fuel-injected Pontiac 6000. 10.9% on the lively Pontiac Phoenix. And 10.9% or $300 on Pontiac 1000. You must take retail delivery from dealer stock by September 21st. So act now and get in on Pontiac excitement.
Get 10.9 financing on these selected Pontiacs at your participating Puget Sound Pontiac dealer.
Have you noticed how many men are drinking Diet Coke?
Diet Coke, yeah, Diet Coke. Look for the taste of Coca-Cola.
It says 1 calorie, but it sure don't taste 1 calorie.
Diet Coke, taste Diet Coke. Just for the taste of it. Just for the taste of it. Diet Coke.
Now there's both Diet Coke and new caffeine-free Diet Coke.
The Seahawks' latest scoring drive, 10 plays, 45 yards. And they ate up 421 with a 21-yard field goal by Norm Johnson to make it 20-6 with a 10:39 to play. The breeze coming up a little at Candlestick Park as the sun begins to go down. The ball, in fact, blows off the tee.
Speaking of a breeze.
And yet, I really expected it to be windier here, Gene, than it has been today.
Well, we've had some very good weather here in the Bay Area the last several weeks. But normally in the summer, the wind gets in this bowl and it just swirls around. And it'll be going 2 directions at the same time. Up above, it'll be going one way, and below, it's going another way.
But right now, well, the breeze is holding off, and Norm Johnson gets a chance to kick it away. Seattle kickoff is bobbled at the 20. Picked up and run back to the 25. Vince Williams. Saw some action at running back earlier on special teams as well. Gets it up to the 28. So San Francisco works from their own 28. 1st and 10 with 10.5 minutes to play. And the Seahawks ahead 20-6.
Well, the Seahawks have to be very, very proud of their performance up to this point. And I'm sure Chuck Knox is very happy. Team playing very good football, the type of football he wants to play in. And I'd say they're in really good shape for next week when they go down to Kansas City to open the season.
Back to throw, Matt Cavanaugh gets Ronaldo Nehemiah at the 37, and Ronaldo stretches it to the 40. Kerry Justin, 26 on the tackle.
There's world-class hurdler.
It's about the only way you can watch him is in slow motion. He's just a blur in regular speed.
He's looking for a place to fall down. Look at that.
All right, Mike Wilson, 85 at the bottom of your screen, wide receiver right, and Nehemiah's left now in the backfield. Williams and Monroe. Kavanaugh with a rush decides to scramble out of the pocket, and he slides into third. He's safe. A baseball slide short of the first down by 3. Got to the 47.
Well, Matt Kavanaugh is used to scrambling, having played in New England for a while, where he came in some tough situations there, trying to find a place to run, and decides wisely to go down and not take on one of those big defensive linemen.
Clock moving, 9:20 to go in this game. It is 20-6 Seahawks. Matt Kavanaugh out of the University of Pittsburgh in his 6th year in the National Football League. Monroe and Williams the setbacks. Monroe on the draw. Gets to the 50, the 48. First down, San Francisco. Looked like Gregory Johnson helping out on the tackle.
Gregory Johnson made the tackle. 86.
They pick up 6. And, of course, they pick up enough for the first down, as we mentioned, so it'll be 1st and 10. 49ers there at the 47-yard line of the Seahawks. Seattle leading 20-6. 8:40 left in the game. A fast-moving second half. Kavanaugh to throw. Over the middle. He's got a receiver. It tips off the hand of Earl Cooper, 49. Incomplete. Clock stopped at 8:31.
Kavanaugh had Cooper open. He just overthrew him. Earl reached up to try to grab the ball, but I think one thing that was going through Cooper's mind is that there's probably a defensive back waiting to hit me, because he gave a little short arm on that one. He didn't quite put it all the way out there, because when you stretch out, you expose those ribs. And I think he had that thought in the back of his mind.
49ers 2nd and 10 at the Seahawk 47. Back to throw, Kavanaugh again. This time it's incomplete, intended for Monroe, and knocked away.
Kerry
Justin, a nice play.
Kerry Justin has played a very good football game this afternoon. Filling in for the injured Keith Simpson.
3rd and 10 now for the 49ers. Bill Walsh has to be, I'm sure, a little bit concerned that his team is not moving the football nearly as well as it did the first time they drove down the field. Trail 20-6. They've managed 2 field goals today, and that's it, against an outstanding Seattle defensive effort. 3rd and 10 at the 47.
Here comes a blitz, Seahawk blitz. Paul Moyer.
The ball gets thrown low. A great try out there by Nehemiah, 83. The pass thrown in desperation. Paul Moyer racing after Matt Kavanaugh. Some boos from the crowd of actually short of 50,000 fans here at Candlestick. So Jim Miller, the barefooted punter, is back in the game, and he's going to kick it away. 8:19 to go, and the Seahawks will get possession. They lead by 2 touchdowns, 20-6. This would be, I'm sure, Gene, a very satisfying preseason if it could end 2-2. Barefooted kick in the direction of no one in particular. Gregory Johnson faking a catch. The ball goes into the end zone, and the Seahawks will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20. Well, some of the 50,000 plus booing here at Candlestick Park. There are a few Seahawk fans in this crowd. None of them are booing. They're happy about this overall Seahawk defensive performance. The penalty marker still on the field, as you see, and they're discussing the problem with David Craig.
Illegal man downfield.
Number 63, kicking team.
We got a timeout of the field. The Seahawks will come back on offense, leading 20-6 in just a minute.
Choked.
Time. For over 50 years, 7-Eleven has been in the business of saving time. But for the thousands of children who have muscular dystrophy, time may be running out. Join our freedom fight for Jerry's kids at your 7-Eleven. Every minute counts. It's about time we put a stop to muscular dystrophy. We're so close to a cure. We've got to do more than just hope. Won't you help Jerry's kids?
Well, the scoreboard on the screen tells the story of an outstanding Seattle defensive effort. They lead 20-6. Right now they're on offense. Dave Craig at quarterback. 7 out of 8 for 88 yards and a touchdown in the air today. It's Charles Thomas. Thomas to the line of scrimmage and more, a couple of yards more. As the Seahawks content to keep it on the ground, Gene. And let the clock move at 7:53 remaining.
Charles Thomas running a sweep. He's at a disadvantage when he's on that dirt infield, and it's very tough to get any kind of good footing at all. So he's just has to sort of go ahead and run into those guys, because when you try to plant on it, your feet just come right underneath.
This time it is Thomas again, 34, almost to the first down. He's about 2 short. Still on that dirt section of the baseball field. 7:20 now left to play as the Seahawks happy to let that clock tick off. Well, there's Chuck Knox. He'll be, as I mentioned, he's got to be thrilled, I would think, with the 2-2, especially with this performance closing out the preseason.
They have just dominated this football game. When both first-string teams were in there, the Seahawks dominated the game. They shut down the 49er passing attack after that initial score by them. Things have really gone the way of the Seahawks since that time.
Craig in the shotgun. He'll get hammered this time. Blanchard Montgomery, 38, diving over the top to blindside Dave Craig. So the shotgun doesn't work, so on 3rd and 3, they give up the football. Brings up, of course, a 4th and 3. And the punting situation with Norm Johnson in the game back at his 5-yard line. He'll kick it to McLemore, who is at the 40. I'm going to mention that, well, we'll talk about it in a minute. 6:25 left in the game. Seahawks lead 20-6, but they're giving up the ball, and it'll be good field position for San Francisco after this punt. They'll let it roll. It's down at the 37, so the 49ers take over, 1st and 10 at their own 37-yard line, with the Seahawks leading 20-6 and 6:11 to go. We'll be back at Candlestick Park in San Francisco in just a minute.
On some airlines, when you buy a discount ticket, you may end up paying for it.
Last call, midnight snack.
With inconvenient flights.
Last call, midnight snack.
Miniature meals. And seats that cramp your style. At Alaska Airlines, we discount fares, but we never discount service.
Part of being human is being able to look ahead, to discover new ideas for a better life today, and especially tomorrow. Like you, First Interstate Bank of Washington is moving ahead too, developing more services, more ways to make your banking and your life more enjoyable, today and tomorrow, all over the West. At First Interstate Bank of Washington, we're looking ahead.
49ers football, 1st and 10 at their own 37-yard line after the Norm Johnson punt with no return. Miller, 85, wide left at the top of your screen. Nehemiah, 83, at the bottom of your screen. Matt Cavanaugh, the quarterback, pumps once, now dumps one off to Vince Williams. And Williams will get nowhere. Gene, I wanted to ask you, since the 49ers have used certainly some backup defensive players in the second half, how much of an indication for the fans at home should this overall Seattle effort be in this final preseason game? These two teams were pretty serious about this one.
Well, Seattle has used a lot of its second and third team players in the football game also, so I don't think any one team has gained an advantage that way. But if you look at the first half, when most of the first stringers were in there, Seattle really dominated the football game, and I think they did it by being aggressive on defense and challenging the 49ers passing attack.
And here is that passing attack. Matt Cavanaugh to Monroe. Number 32, Monroe will be short of the first down by 3. Did some nice moving and running and cutting to get to the 44, where he will still be 3 yards short. Ken McAllister, 48 on the stop.
Carl Monroe has been a pleasant surprise for the 49ers. He's been primarily running back kicks. He's a little guy, but he's got good quickness, as you can see. And he has a very good chance of making this football team, the 49ers.
Clock is moving. 4:58 to go in the game. Seattle leads 20-6, but it's San Francisco ball, 3rd and 3 at their own 44-yard line. Matt Cavanaugh to throw. Over the middle. It's tipped. I believe Sim. It was intended for Mike Malarkey, 84. He's trying to see who got a hand on it. Definitely one of the Seahawks. I think it was Sam Clancy got a hand on that ball, Gene, and caused it to drop to the ground with no harm done. So the barefoot kicker, Jim Miller, back to kick. Gregory Johnson back at his own 10-yard line. The Seahawks will get it back again with 4:45 left to play. He bobbles the snap but gets it away. Johnson bobbles the reception but grabs it at the 11 and then just decides to fall on it. A good move at the 12. May not have had any choice. He might have actually slipped.
Well, that's happened a lot of times here. Now the wind is really starting to pick up. And those guys get back there and they're trying to feel those punts. And that ball starts moving all over the place. Very, very tough with this wind. It's really starting to pick up now here in this last quarter.
4:35 remaining. The Seahawks have an interesting task. There you see Matt Cavanaugh, who has tried to come in and rally his team at quarterback here in this 3rd quarter. Dave Craig's been, 4th quarter, I'm sorry, playing a fine. David Hughes with the ball over the 15 to the 16-yard line. Will pick up 3, 4. And the clock continues to move with 4:27. The 1983 regular season schedule begins next weekend for the Seahawks when they travel to Kansas City to face the divisional rival, the Kansas City Chiefs. And naturally, King TV will be the place to see all the action. The Seahawks and the Chiefs live from Kansas City next Sunday at 1 right here on Channel 5. 2nd and 7 from their own 16. The Seahawks moving with 4 minutes left in the game. Craig to throw. He has Castor complete at the 22. First down. They mark it at the 23, and let's see now. Maybe call that one too early, but it sure is close. That's the 4th reception for Castor for 40 yards today.
Well, his foot hit right on where the marker was, but I guess the officials are going to rule that it's just inside. Didn't quite make the first. Well, they're going to bring it over and they're going to measure. They're bringing the chains from the other side of the field.
Boy, if it's short, Gene, it's no more than a foot short, and the Seahawks really want this one. 3:57 to play. They lead by 2 touchdowns. That's not short at all. They made that thing by an inch. It was never a question. So it's 1st and 10. This does obviously 2 things. Gives them 4 more pops and it keeps the clock going. 20-6 Seattle. 3:57 to go in the preseason. 49ers back here at home next week against the Eagles. Seahawks in Kansas City to open the regular season a week from tomorrow. Castor and Byron Walker, the wideouts. David Hughes. Nice cutback to the 30, the 31, the 32. First down to the 34. Mike Durden, the rookie out of UCLA, makes the tackle.
Well, some of the guys have sort of started to take it easy a little bit, but David Hughes hasn't. You get in a situation like this, and it appears obvious as though the Seahawks are going to win the game. So some of the guys start to take it a little easy. The defensive guys, things get a little close in here. They say, okay, somebody's going to get him. Let the other guy tackle him. But David Hughes is not looking for a place to go down.
That's true. He needs to.
Look at that.
David again. Look at him winding his way to the 42. He'll be just 3 yards short of another first down. Well, David Hughes certainly is not looking for a place to lay down. He's looking for a place to play football, and Seattle is his first choice. He's trying to make that team every time he carries the ball. 8 carries, 41 yards for David Hughes today. 2nd and 3 Seahawks. 2:53 to go in the game. It sure looks like the Seahawks are going to be 2-2 in the preseason with a win over a very good 49er team. Up the middle, David Hughes. He busts loose into 49er territory. First down again. Heck, they might score again. Seahawks at the 49, and it's 2.5 minutes to go now.
The Seattle offensive line is just embarrassing San Francisco's defensive line. They're just blowing them off. Right tackle Jack Campbell coming through there, backup tackle behind Steve August, getting in on the action.
Clock moving, 2:15 to go. That'll be the 2-minute warning here, and approximately 15 seconds according to my math. 20-6. If you're tuning in late, it's been a good, solid defensive effort by the Seahawks, and they've done what they've had to do on offense. There you've got the 2-minute warning. The officials timeout. You see the wind flapping against Dave Craig. We're going to take a commercial break with 2 minutes to go in the game at San Francisco's Candlestick Park. It's 20-6 Seahawks.
We're flying high above Belknap, Oregon, to test again whether your ad in the Pacific Northwest Bell Yellow Pages never stops selling. As you know, the Yellow Pages claims to have a bigger impact than any other advertising medium. On the job 365 days a year in 96% of all homes and businesses. Well, let's see how well they sell after this.
Size Sky Jumps, the Earth's the limit.
There you have it, the Yellow Pages.
Yellow.
They never stop selling.
Anybody there?
I'll tell you, trying to get cultured isn't easy. We just went to the opera and we didn't understand a word.
Yeah, but that big guy in those tights sure could sing.
Well, at least we still drink a very civilized beer. Light beer from Miller. Light tastes great.
But us impresarios drink it because it's less filling.
We can't afford to get filled up. Tomorrow night, we're going to the ballet.
Yeah, I sure hope they do it in English.
Me too.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
As usual, the screen telling the story, 20-6. 2 minutes to play. 1st and 10, Seattle at the 49-yard line of the 49ers. Dave Craig again to the 45, to the 40. Penalty marker thrown. First down Seahawks, unless it's against the Seahawks.
It's got to be holding against the Seahawks.
That's what it is.
Well, we'll watch David Hughes run the ball again anyway. And you know what? He gets to the same spot he did before.
It's amazing how those replays work, Gene. You watch them over and over, and the guy will do the same thing. But the different angles have been nice today. John Yarno making sure of his block. Unfortunately, one of the officials saw what John was trying to do. And, you know, again, the hold, there'll be how many hundreds of holds that won't be detected throughout the season. But that one was 1st and 20 for Seattle. They're at the 41-yard line, their own 41. They lead 20-6 with 1:52 to go. David Hughes picked up 3. The crowd begins to fill the parking lot here at Candlestick Park.
Tony, I'd like to say before the game's over that I've really enjoyed working with you in this preseason. And I think we're seeing the beginning of some exciting football to come for the Seahawks. Chuck Knox, I think, is going to provide a lot of enthusiasm, a new identity, a Seahawk football team that the Seattle fans can really be proud of.
Gene, I think you're right. 2nd and 17. David Hughes again. Speaking of being proud of something, he can be proud of the game he's had. Even though they fumble after the whistle, Craig gets up to the 49, which is the original line of scrimmage. The clock's still moving, 1:07. And Gene, it's been exciting and fun to work with you. I know you, of course, go on now the regular season with NBC, and you will apparently be in Kansas City next week for that opener with the Seahawk team. So you'll see him for real. I think we've seen him for real today.
Well, it'd be tough to play any better. They've looked exceptional.
Seahawks rushing for 166 yards today to just 84 for the 49ers. 3rd and 10 at the midfield stripe. Clock moving with 37 seconds to go. David Hughes, who else? He avoids 1 tackle, then 2, then finally gets stopped by Gary Wimmer. Thanks to quite a few people making our telecast not only possible, but outstanding today. Telecast produced by James Burns, directed by Wally Miller, technical director Francisco Gomez, associate producer Mark Mano, Bill Rocky, our spotter down from Seattle today. The clock running out. 4, 3, 2, 1. There it is. The Seahawks have won their final preseason football game 20-6 as they beat the 49ers in their own backyard 20-6. We're going to be back with a final wrap-up at Candlestick Park in San Francisco right after this message.
Pacific West Sport and Racket Clubs are celebrating their 4th year, and what a year it's been. We resurfaced tennis and racquetball courts, opened our new Kent Club with the Women's Professional Racquetball Tournament, plus a world record powerlifting event. Next, we announced our newest location in Kirkland. Now we're expanding our Puyallup Club, adding another indoor tennis court and a complete gymnasium. To celebrate, Pacific West is offering 25% off all memberships, and you can start for as little as $99 down, only $99. Pacific West. Join the club.
In fine restaurants all over America, more and more people are ordering in German.
Beck's.
Beck's, the #1 imported German beer.
Uh-oh, better get Mako.
Longacres, 50 years running.
Gene, as some of the players meet with each other at the close of this football game, we've seen the preseason, we've seen the Seahawks win 2 and lose 2, and today we have seen a regular season effort on the part of Chuck Knox's team.
Well, I think they really put it together today in terms of controlling the ball on offense. You know, they held the football, they allowed the defense to rest. The defense really did its job. Initially the 49ers moved the ball down the field. They tightened up on the pass defense. They tightened up on Dwight Clark. They challenged the 49ers, and they had a terrific result. I think they can be very, very proud of this effort today, and they really have the momentum going for them next week in Kansas City.
Thank you very much for Gene Washington. Tony Ventrella saying so long from Candlestick Park in San Francisco. The final preseason game, the final score, Seahawks 20, the 49ers 6.
The Seahawks versus the 49ers was sponsored by your participating Puget Sound Honda dealers. Honda, what other cars are trying to be. By Rainier Brewing Company, brewers of Mountain Fresh Rainier and Rainier Light, 2 great tastes of beer. And by Pacific Coca-Cola Bottling Company. Try new Diet Coke, just for the taste of it.